What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Project Manga podcast, where we cover One Piece, My Hero, Black Clover, Mashle, Chainsaw Man, and Jujutsu Kaisen week to week. Back this week covering Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 39. I'm your host, Eagle.
What up, it's Kiko.
Noxie.
And Nickums.
And as always, before we get started, I would just like to say, go ahead and visit that link tree in the description box down below, where you can find links to any and all of our online communities, audio listening platforms to consume the podcast on. Also, links to support the podcast if you would be so inclined, such as the link to our Patreon, where you can subscribe to different tiers, obviously, that will give you access to different levels of extra content that we release, ranging from early access to all of our content up to a completely different second Shonen podcast that we do with 5 different series. So
Yes.
check that out.
Yes.
And subscribe if you'd be so inclined. With all that said, how you guys feel about this weekend jump? Because it's a
No One Piece, but still.
Dude, I
we're
forgot
crazy.
there was no One
Yeah.
Piece. Like everything was blowing my mind so much. I finished all the chapters, and then I was like, I thought about it like an hour later. I was like, oh shit, I didn't read One Piece, and then there's just no One Piece there.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
shit.
Yep. And Phantom Seer, very good.
First chapter was super
One
tough.
Piece is the first one I'm checking for.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one I read the scans on. You know.
Yeah, I always go. I always go to Jujutsu Kaisen first, and then I go into My Hero, and then I go into Chainsaw Man towards the end.
The last couple weeks, I have been reading the scans for One Piece. And
Yeah,
I never mentioned
how
it
can
to
you
you,
not?
but remember the one week you sent me the spoilers, Nox, and
Yeah.
and what it said at the end. I forgot to talk to you again about that.
I know it
Shit
didn't happen.
yo.
It didn't happen. Yeah, I remember that too.
It said Zoro opens his eye mid combat.
Yeah.
He was like,
happen.
Zoro opens his eyes.
I was like, bro, we're eating, bro.
I'm like, yo, if that happens, I'm like, you remember what I said? I don't want to say it here, but
Yeah,
that shit
you
was
said
funny.
some wild shit. Oh my god. Oh god.
Anyways,
Yes.
yeah. But without further ado, I think we should probably just jump right into this.
Yes.
Do it.
Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 119, the Shibuya Incident, part 37.
Holy shit,
And this,
man.
the beginning sequence of this chapter.
This
Yeah.
first
So
page
fire.
with the narration.
Yes.
One of my favorite
Mhm.
pages
First
in the
couple
whole
pages.
series.
Yeah.
With the knives, with the
It's,
2 different knives. Oh.
Yeah, it's
Well, and the
always
fact that,
nice to. It just sets the tone. With
Yeah.
Okay, we
Right.
know we're getting very explanatory, if that's a word.
Expositionary.
There you go.
I don't even know if that's a
not
word.
probably. But
Exposition.
either way, we're getting a lot of info right away that we're been
Yeah.
fiending for a long time.
Yeah.
Right away, you're just like, we're definitely getting a lot of good info in this chapter, right?
Yeah.
Based off the first page, and we did because we got Handy Hup's ability too. You
Yeah.
know, so
And his
we
name.
did get
You know.
Handy Hub's ability. That's crazy.
what's
And
his
his
name?
name.
Shigenmo.
Yeah.
Shigenmo.
The fact that you can make a binding vow on your domain
Yeah.
Mhm.
to change the
Well,
entire nature of it,
Yeah.
that's some
super
shit, bro.
sick. Yeah, this is a really big
You're
payoff.
not.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say this is a super big payoff because it's you hide this ability's explanation for so long while making it a mystery every time it's used. So that
Yep.
120 chapters later, when you finally give it to us, we're especially if you know it's cold blooded too,
Mhm.
it's here you go,
Yeah.
it's your time to have it now, and it's just oh, we finally got it.
This is the incident part of Shibuya Incident. We all thought it was Gojo getting sealed. No, it's the whole fucking city getting cut the fuck up and blown up with a mushroom cloud out the fucking fire arrow after. It's a whole goddamn mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
man, Sukuna is OP and then he walks off laughing basically.
Yeah.
It's the same shit, man.
Just
Fuck-
committed
and
mass
throws the wheel on the ground man, fuck him.
Yeah,
Fuck his
walking with
wheel.
the wheel, bro, and then tosses it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
it's
shit was
wild.
crazy.
Holy
OP
shit.
as fuck, man. He does not.
But yeah,
give
the
a
fact
shit.
that his domain doesn't have a barrier, that shit.
That's
Yeah.
super
That shit's
interesting.
really
I didn't
Yeah.
even know that was
It's
possible.
so good.
Yeah, that's super
Yeah,
sick.
no, nobody probably thought of that, especially
Yeah.
because, I mean,
Well, one, it says it's different than any other domain that we've seen, or
Yeah.
just different than domains in general. So
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
how
That's
could
a
you
thing.
guess that? Yeah.
I'm wondering if we'll ever see it again. Maybe Sukuna, maybe it's a top tier thing, but like Sukuna, even Gojo's has a barrier, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing that kind of felt weird to me is that he does it specifically above ground, because it's like, okay, it's gonna be still a dome, right? A dome with the fucking, you know, three
like above ground,
above ground. And it's like, was that on purpose from Sukuna to not go underground with it, or is that part of the condition where, like, if you dug your way out, Dotoned your way out of that bitch, you know? Like, I don't know, like, if that's,
you could
if
probably
that's possible,
assume,
but
since there's not a bubble, that, like, because normally the reason why the domain is so strong is because it traps you inside, and it's really hard to get out, because obviously the user wants to take advantage of the advantage that a domain gives you. So there's that strength on the escape that you have to deal with. So I would assume digging yourself out is just as hard to get out of the Malevolent Shrine as it is leaving whatever dome is there for another domain expansion. So I'm assuming you have to.
Well, no, because they're saying he kept it above ground. So literally, if you dig anything beneath ground, you've escaped it.
Right, but like it's still like surface level though, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like the domain.
So you have to run 140 whatever. What was it? Meters?
Yeah, 140 meters. Yeah.
So Moxie, what you're saying is if you fucking like dig a hole in the ground, the shit's just gonna go like.
Or no, or it's just not gonna let you, or it's just not gonna let you dig past the ground level.
No, I think it.
You
I think it
like
would let you
reinforces
dig
the ground in some way.
Well, why would it let you dig though? Because like if you tried
it says
to,
there's no barrier.
Right, there's no
barrier,
there's no like dome part, right? So like
there's no barrier.
Complete
part.
barrier.
Oh, there's
you
no
can
barrier
escape
at
from
all.
any direction.
You can go down
any
too.
direction.
It says
Okay.
allowing an escape route.
So the thing I
escape
wonder
route is
about
just
this,
like no ceiling. I took it as like the escape route being like
or walls,
you could
anything.
Yeah, well that's what I mean. You know what I mean? So like
It says furthermore, by allowing an escape route, a binding vow is formed, which vastly increases the guaranteed hits effect area. So the reason why he can make it so big is because he forms no barrier, allowing them to like either run away or escape beneath the ground or whatever.
I see what you guys are saying. I guess I assumed that because it's surface level that the effect is on the ground level. Yeah.
So like what I'm trying to say here is that I don't think it's only surface level.
Okay.
I think you could read this to say the radius is 140 meters above the surface. Yeah. But it's a sphere, you know, so it would be less radius as you go down. You know, that the bottom of the sphere would be small, and then it would get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because like if you go to this scene where these people are underground. These people are underground in a subway or something. There's no electricity. They get obliterated. They all get killed. So I feel like it's just
they for sure underground.
It's just dark.
For sure underground.
But
they're trapped down whatever fourth floor.
Like a clothes shop. Because if you look at this one where they're blowing up, they got suits and stuff in the background.
Yeah, they could just be in a building.
Yeah, there's underground shops.
Yeah, there is underground shops.
All these, but there was all these people.
I'll take your word for that.
Yeah.
But there was all these people in Halloween costumes on the subway to begin with. They're all in the underground subway part, and they were trapped on the fourth basement. They were all trapped on the fourth basement for.
So what I'm trying to what I'm saying is that like at the surface level, it's as big as it gets, 140 meters, and it means it goes 140 meters up and down too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it gets thinner and thinner as it goes down because it's a sphere, you know.
Yeah.
See, but the thing that makes me not think that is that we would have ground damage, and what you're saying is that is what's happening to these people. But what I'm thinking is happening to these people is that Inumaki was caught in the radius of Sukuna's, and I don't think he's dead. I think he just had to use his ability and cancel the ability that he was using to help those people below to, you know, cancel whatever use the rest of his curse words, weren't allowed to use in mom's home, you know, those words. And
he'd be cussing.
And so he had to divert the rest of his shit to survive Sukuna, because he was above ground, you know, basically neutralizing curses for a good minute, walking around, you know, freezing them.
Yeah. So like, wait, what ability is he like giving these people to aid?
Yeah. What do you think is happening to these people then?
No. I'm talking about Inumaki. You said that Inumaki was still helping these people with an ability of some kind.
Well, that's what they say. We have the megaphone guy. You know, right?
Fighting curses
that's right.
for us. Yeah, or dealing with like spot curses for us. I thought you meant that there was like some kind of like blanket technique that he had active right now that he had to cancel in order to use his another ability to escape the radius or something.
And I don't know.
I feel like these people are getting hit by his ability, Sukuna's ability. I
yeah,
mean, they're
that's
getting,
for
like,
sure.
ripped apart.
That's for sure. That's
well, no, though. Does it look like they're getting blown up or cut apart?
It looks like they're literally being evaporated.
What if he is? What if he did speak some? Oh yeah, it could be, but I don't know. What if he did speak some words and he's like dematerializing them, and then he's kind of bringing them to somewhere else?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Mass teleports, his fucking throat would explode.
I just think there's significance in mentioning Inumaki here, right? Is Inumaki dead?
I don't know.
What happened?
Very well could be.
Well, see, like here's how I interpreted it, right? Because they're under here, they're safe because of Inumaki, because Inumaki did the thing that we saw him do when
he stopped a bunch of curses.
Yeah, so they got to a safe place where there's no curses around because of Inumaki. So they're probably just assuming that he's still around, looking out for them. And that's why they have such a high level of confidence that they're going to be okay, because they know Inumaki is close by. Right. I think that's what it was. I don't think he's yeah.
But so the ground is not blown up. You can see page 14, 15, 2-page spread where Sukuna's walking with the wheel. The ground is not cratered in.
Yeah,
it's
that's
flat.
Right. It's like raised.
Yeah.
It's a smidge.
Up and shit.
Well,
whatever.
Yeah, the exposition of cleave and dismantle. Cleave says it targets organic matter, and dismantle targets inorganic matter, right? So he's using Yeah, so he's using cleave right now because he already hit Mahoraga with dismantle, and he assumed that he adapted to that.
The domain is using both cleave and dismantle, and dismantle's hitting the inorganic matter while cleave hits the organic matter. So it should have definitely cratered and killed.
Cut up and stuff.
Yeah, it should have made a huge crater
in the whole area.
Yeah, okay,
that makes
sense.
It didn't. It's a flat ground. So
those people could be in a building. Those just in a building above ground.
So basically, what Kiko's trying to say is, if Nickham's what you were talking about is true, where it's like a circular, spherical radius.
Yeah,
there should be a crater where it's cut out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
We get that. But yeah. So you're saying that these guys
have to be above ground then.
Have to be above ground. Where I thought for sure all these people were. That's why they're all together like that. Like I thought they were all trapped underground in the station.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But I mean, we're kind of like making it make sense that they're not underground though, because the ground level is not taking any damage.
Above ground in a building, inside the building, so away from windows, and it powers out.
Especially since they're in a coat room, I guess. Yeah. Now that I realize that the coat room wouldn't be in a subway.
Yeah, that's what Eagle was talking about.
Yeah, they're in a shop. They're in a shop or something.
Yeah. But no, for sure. I mean, it's obviously like there's not a lot of attention like paid to, like detail of like a large area where they're located. So I mean, like, definitely very.
They got fucked up, whatever.
Yeah.
I just think there has to be significance in saying we have the megaphone guy. Oh right, that dead, boom, dead. It felt like Inumaki's ability was canceled, or that he was knocked unconscious. You had to use his ability to escape the blast or the cutting radius of the domain, and thus canceled something that was. I don't really get it either.
You could say it was canceling something, but what are you saying it was canceling? And you could say he's used his ability to escape, but what are you saying? You saying he killed all those people? He said get me the fuck out of here.
No, because
boom, and they were getting died.
Yeah. Well, they were getting transmogrified, and I felt like that could also be that too. That maybe that, even though it does look like an explosion right there, right, coming towards their heads, doesn't it also kind of look like maybe like monster flesh is coming? Cursed flesh could be coming out of their heads too. It looks like
I see what you're talking about. Yeah, because there does look like kind of like a cursey face in that like middle horizontal panel. But I just assumed that the cleave was literally just evaporating,
shaving them off bit by bit.
Yeah. But
so,
because and Inumaki too has only been seen with single target or area of effect kind of big
AOE close everybody in the area
right, but he'll do it and then it'll be over. It's not like we haven't seen long lasting conditional spells from Inumaki that it's just boom, he does it, he says the words, the effect happens, and then the effect is over. It's not
no. He froze all those curses there for indefinitely. They were all frozen indefinitely.
Did they say indefinitely, or
he said don't move? They don't. They say don't move, but they're literally not moving for panels.
Yeah,
and stuck that way.
Yeah, but we don't know how long that time was, though. You know what I mean? So it's like
sure.
Yeah,
but if it was a activate and done, wouldn't they just be able to immediately move or whatever?
True, unless
there must be some time to it.
True.
Some time.
Yeah.
You would think you would have saw them do stuff after that.
Yeah, you're right.
But maybe not. Maybe no. And it definitely can go either way for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So this paneling on page 5, like, is this buildings getting cut up and shit, or what is this like?
Yes.
This
I think this is a representation of the dismantle.
Like,
and it's kana sound effects as the panel, as the slashes, right? So like the 2 slashes and the up and down, that's ki, and then you have the like keen, and then the 2 is just like like end of sound, abrupt end of sound. So it's like keen.
Yeah.
As if it just slashed everything in that whole area.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. The Chisaitsu, the little mini
fucking
one that like stops
man.
the sentence or whatever, or stops the sound. Yeah. Yeah.
Gege.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah,
different,
it looks really clean. It looks super artistic and clean for sure.
That's
very
so
cool.
like just that's such a cool way of doing that, man.
Yeah. And I feel like we may have seen that. I feel
We've
like
seen it before.
I feel like we've recently talked about like
that was
another
like Chainsaw
mangaka.
Man.
Yeah,
Chainsaw
it was
Man
Chainsaw Man. Yeah, Chainsaw
My
Man.
Hero's done that.
Yeah.
You know, Horikoshi's done it in some
I just
ways.
remember recently having a conversation about this exact thing. I got like deja vu for a sec.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, so Mahoraga, I'm really disappointed didn't have like more answers for Sukuna. Because remember how last week we were talking about how he was just gonna benevolent shrine, white flash, you know what I'm saying? Like we were so hype on that conversation that it's just
but not that he can't do it. Not that it can't do it. It's just that Sukuna like short circuited his ability by attacking him. You're gonna transform again? Too bad. I'm gonna hit you again right now.
Yeah, I was just so ready for Mahoraga to use a little bit more of this adaptation ability to like really surprise Sukuna in like crazy ways, like a counter expansion like we were talking about last week, or like maybe
we'll get that like in the future when Megumi uses it.
Yeah, for sure. I was just like,
or when Megumi really battles this for real.
Yeah.
The way that
if he even has to battle, you're talking about battle Mahoraga.
Yeah,
if
to unlock it or whatever.
Yeah, unless it's unlocked already right now because Sukuna beat it.
We'll see. I doubt it. I don't think so. But
I highly doubt it too.
Yeah.
But the way that on the first page that it says Sukuna has 2 types of slashing attacks. It's not really saying his ability is like that's just like a small portion of his ability, right? Like it feels like there's so much more to it, and the way that was worded. And I was just kind of thinking like, because we've been thinking for weeks now, like, did he steal Jogo's ability? Can he copy and steal his like element? And then I think it was Eagle that mentioned that he had different like elements on each finger.
Yeah.
Right. And so I went and looked at all the fingers, and I'm like, are these like almost abilities?
Yeah.
Like, can he? Because especially when you got he's the 2-faced specter, and it's like, well, what does that mean? Like maybe because 2-faced you could kind of see like stealing ability, but you could also just see like maybe he has 2 totally separate like curse techniques because of it, and one is basically allows him to have whatever a multitude of elements to pull from. I don't know. He's only used fire and slashing thus far, but it's just weird that he has fire, right? Like it's weird that we've seen these slashing attacks for so long from Sukuna, and now he's got this attack. And I don't know, the one time too that it felt like he really had the ability to copy is when the girl with the phone, I forget, Mimiko maybe, whatever it is, the one with the phone.
Right. Yeah.
And he was like, this ability's boring and dumb or something. Like, I don't want to steal this stupid ass ability.
Wow. It kind of does kind of like hint that like, ooh, could this be an ability that I would want to use later? Like, oh no,
this is dumb as fuck.
Yeah,
I don't want this.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. That's fucking awesome.
So I don't know. It's just like you see the fire arrow again. And it's like I just got to start thinking about like, man. Okay, it's not. He didn't copy Jogo's ability because he's still using it, right? Or unless he gets to compile them,
Or he just like remember how we like thought it was like a Jing kind of like situation. It's like now I know how to do it, so I could just pull it out of my bag whenever I want
so tight I can take it without taking it. I just can recreate it.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit, man.
I love the I love the explanation of Handy Hup's ability or whatever.
Yes.
Just like this, like it stores little miracles.
Yeah,
like,
and then it says like 444.
11, make a wish.
Yeah.
It's like really you counting that as a miracle? It's so nonsense.
Yeah, that's not enough to give you a fucking mark on your face. You kidding me?
But apparently it is.
But apparently you can just like stockpile a bunch of little tiny miracles to make one line. So like we don't know you know what I mean?
Yeah, that could be.
It doesn't necessarily have to be that one.
That one.
The microwave say that, and he gets a
That'd be so broken.
But I love that like it says like little everyday miracles are erased from his memory. And stored. Yeah. And so he doesn't even know his own ability, how it works, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's because if you never remember that these events are happening and leading to any change, like how would you know what your ability does? You just think you're really lucky.
Yeah.
Well, and that must be the binding vow his family probably put in order on that curse technique. You assume he inherited that curse technique, you know, and that just makes perfect sense as to like that's a good binding vow to put on it. You don't know what your technique is, and that because that technique is pretty OP. Like if you know, if you don't have to deal with, you know, he had to Nanami beat them all out of him, you know, and then you got to face Sukuna. Like Nanami's clearly way above him, and Sukuna is way above Nanami, so like that's really bad luck to have to deal with those, and to think luck was your ability was really cool. But yeah, that's a good restriction.
Yeah, because then it's just like now you can just focus on being a fighter, and then like if you take too much damage, you have this curse technique that you don't fucking know about. It's like it's not detrimental that he doesn't really know what it is because it's so healing and like health and like restorative based that he can just focus everything on like hand-to-hand combat, obviously swordsmanship like he has. He doesn't have to like train a jutsu shiki or anything like that. Like that's actually really fucking cool.
Well, it begs the question, why the fuck was the hand sword running around? What the fuck was that all about?
That was given to him. That was given to him by somebody in the I think probably Mahito, I think, or maybe Geto.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that just 1000% has nothing to do with his technique.
For sure.
Which couldn't.
Dude, remember when we were like theorizing on like what his technique could be? We said some tight shit, bro, back then, and it's like, and it's like now we got this explanation, and we're like, okay, this is really fucking cool too. But I think I oh my god, I just remembered. I said that his clothes are so baggy, so like maybe he has like different weapons like connected to different like body parts. Like in his like baggy ass pants, you know what I mean. Pulls out a foot with like a barrel on it and just shoots you. It's you know, cool, and it makes sense too. Like if Mahito has something to do with it, where it's like Mahito could make a living hand right on the end of a sword, like that makes perfect sense. You know, he just has to run over to the Addams family, grab the hand, and put it on the sword.
Right. Well, and the way he got cut was just so disrespectful.
Oh my god,
the shit ever, bro.
And then he's like peeling away. Front
about part of his arm like swings forward and leaves the back part.
And it's funny, like it was so quick and so good that like I didn't even really fully understood what happened. I'm like, man, is Gege like what's this drawing all about? Why is this looks weird? And then I go to the next page. I'm like, oh shit, he just got and I gotta go. You gotta go back and look at the page. Oh, that's because that's two halves of his hands flapping in the wind over here on both sides. Like oh god damn.
Yep.
Super.
I'm very satisfied with his death though, because that dude was a dick.
Fuck that guy.
And then it fits perfectly with everything that's happened. It's like his luck, and we got the good explanation on. Okay, I'm lucky again. I'm always lucky. I get to skate out. I got no idea. Scrap. Nah, hell no. And Sukuna, why would Sukuna ever let him go anyway? It's like you just fucking almost killed Megumi. Like
exactly.
I would never
already
let you
mad
get
at
away. Like there's no way in hell. I was like, he ain't really letting him leave, right? Like that's just no.
And Sukuna's such a son of a bitch for telling him to run away too when he knew he was going. Probably already killed him, and he's just like taking a minute to register. Like, be gone. Like, I was like, damn, he let him go. I was like, this Sukuna dude maybe got a little bit more Yuji in him than I thought he did. And then it's just like, nope, you're dead.
Yo.
Yeah.
No, never mind.
Oh, okay.
I got hyped for a second.
What'd you get hyped for?
You do see a line on the side of his head.
Yeah.
On page 16, before the panel where he says to see another day, on the very last panel, he is already
cut. My god,
he's already I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice that at all.
No, that's great.
He's like still talking as his brain's like cut in half.
Right.
Like,
my god, bro.
Before we move on to the end of the chapter, I want to go back to the Maharaga or whatever, because I think something was mentioned in this chapter that answers a question we had last episode or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, Sukuna is thinking, I guess, and this is on page 10, and he's like, okay, the only way to defeat it is to slaughter it with a new attack before it can adapt. You know, you could do cleave, that could work, but if it hasn't adapted dismantle, but rather if it's adapted to slashing attacks in general,
then
I might be fucked here, you know, and that's why he has to use the fire arrow or whatever. So, and then you see on page 11, Maharaga is like not really that damaged after that huge, you know, malevolent shrine use or whatever.
Yeah.
So last episode we were talking like, what is the adaptation? Is it that just he can see the attacks coming better and deflect them, but he still could get hit by them and be damaged?
Yeah.
I think no now. Even if he is hit, his adaptation is defense against slashing attacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so any slashing attacks forever now, or at least in this battle, at the very least.
Or at least these two particular... Or wait, no, slashing attacks.
Do the adaptations reset every time you summon him?
That's a good question. We don't know that.
Great question, but like you would probably assume so because like, well, no,
by
because
now
like, we don't know.
Just be this impervious monster.
Yeah, like how many fights has he been in? Yeah,
right.
So Sukuna is saying his regeneration will soon be complete, and you do see him on page 11, like putting back little pieces of his body back together. So I don't think he was totally impervious to slash.
Not impervious, but not as damaged as he would have been.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why he's like, oh shit, like he's about to regenerate. Crap, I gotta quickly do the fire attack that will actually damage him because I've not done a fire attack yet.
Yeah.
Before
before he completely regenerates from the last attack, which probably cancels like his ability to regenerate at all, because, or maybe he's just evaporated at this point. There's nothing to regenerate, but maybe if you catch him lacking while he's regenerating and isn't fully adapted to the last attack, and then you hit him with a completely new one, then like the wheel has nothing to like do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or maybe the adaptation is just like that. Whatever he is adapted to will be less effective because you would assume that. Yeah, you would assume that he would be way more damaged. I mean, this is already what you guys are saying, but yeah, he doesn't seem like cut. So maybe the slashes are just hitting him. He's a little more
and doing little damage,
can regenerate,
but not a ton of damage.
Little surface area flaps. I think he was.
I think he was cut up more, and we're kind of seeing towards the end of it
of the regeneration. Yeah,
because one of the wings is like half gone.
Yeah, but that's the only thing.
One of the wings is half
gone.
That's the stage we're seeing in the. Yeah, he's putting the sword back together,
and is that cleave that attacks inanimate?
Dismantle is
Well, but then why did he use dismantle on him last chapter?
Both.
That's the way I took it. The way Nick was saying it, I was saying that, or at least took it that he hasn't adapted dismantle. He adapted slashing attacks in general, which means dismantle still works. He didn't figure out actually what dismantle really is, which sure might be slashing, but it's not as simplistic as just slashing. And slashing is not enough to adapt to, which dismantle still does work. That's why the sword would be broken too. But
I think what his inner monologue implies is that if it hasn't adapted to dismantle, then it will be regenerated much quicker than if it had. Because he thinks if it hasn't adapted dismantle, but to slashing attacks in general, then ... Maharaga's regeneration will soon be complete.
Yeah.
And then he says open. And destroys him with a fire attack before he can.
Right. And it was almost complete, right?
So
like
that
he
means
almost
that
was fully regenerated. He does have a resistance to slashing attacks in general.
Yeah.
So dismantle and cleave have both been hitting him and damaging him, but he does have a resistance. And so the smoke will clear and Maharaga will be basically fine.
Yeah.
AKA he needs to do a little more right now.
But if dismantle targets inorganic matter, then like why is is Maharaga inorganic then?
Maybe he didn't know at the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
No, it's just that the domain does both. and it's going to cut up all the buildings and all the
no.
inanimate.
I'm saying before he expanded his domain, he attacked him with dismantle the first time.
And like, why would you do that if you know it only hurts organic matter?
I don't think it only hits. Yeah, I don't think it only hits inorganic matter or inanimate matter. I think
maybe just for the sure hit technique.
Well, no, I just think it's not as powerful. It has like you can't scale it. Where Cleave scales with their Juryoku, it says that Cleave scales.
Oh, sure.
Where you would throw dismantle as that's your low end cutting attack, which will always cut inanimate objects because they don't have any
energy. Right.
So
it's like you can use dismantle against anything. It's just really effective against inanimate objects. It also is effective against anything that gets cut, but just less effective if you have a high level of curse energy that it is resisting against the dismantle.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
I think what Noxie said was exactly right. Like he can use any one of them at will, but for the sure hit technique within his domain,
he uses both.
It just automatically hits inorganic shit with
sure.
Yeah.
Dismantle anything with cursed energy, whatever level with Cleave.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Fuck yeah.
We can move on to this last stuff here, unless anybody else has.
Yuji looks so like devastated.
You get the Denji feel on this, don't you?
Yeah, like that's one of the saddest faces I think I've like ever seen.
He's definitely taking this to heart. Like he's responsible for this. He's not able to stop it. Obviously, this is going to weigh on him. And the biggest thing out of all this is execution talks are firmly back on the table.
Oh yeah, Yaga's like
execution.
Was that Itadori or was that Sukuna? I don't care because we're getting this motherfucker out of here. He just mass murdered thousands of people. Like.
I don't think he thinks that Denji did it. I think he just thinks, it was probably Sukuna.
Well, Yaga. I mean, if execution talks are going to be on the table, then like, I mean, who's going to start him?
For sure.
Yaga.
No, he isn't. The Kyoto headmaster.
Gakuganji.
Yeah, he's the bitch. Like Yaga's cool. Yeah. And Yaga's just firm.
I forgot about Gakuganji, honestly.
and Yaga. Fucking. That's the whole part of this is that he actually did see Itadori's, true self come out of Sukuna for that split second that he drops Megumi off and after images out of there. He saw Itadori for that second with that look on his face, but it's still Sukuna in there. It was just that moment of, I just slaughtered a whole town. Are you city?
Are you saying then that?
No, because I think the black panel in between the two implies that a little bit of time has passed.
Time. Yep. I think that's very possible.
But when he said, I thought I saw Itadori for a second, but was it Sukuna?
Yeah.
Right, because I think Sukuna dropped off Megumi to get healed.
Instantly bounced.
Yeah.
And he bounced. Yep. And then time has passed. And Sukuna has dispelled and Denji, or Yuji rather, is sad.
Yeah.
Later.
Right. So like he
dispelled. Okay.
Oh.
Or it's either dispelled or he's inside Sukuna thinking, but I think it might be dispelled.
He said time's up like not much longer. Yeah, he said
not much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the markings are gone and shit, so yeah.
Yeah,
but
that could still be inside the inner domain. So so that's another question. It's like, okay, so Yuji has watched everything that Sukuna's done then. Right,
yeah,
we could probably assume so. Because Sukuna can see everything that happens when he's Yuji.
Yeah.
So you could assume that, like, when they're in the inner domain, they can see what the body is doing.
We know that for sure too, because Itadori did have conversations with fucking Sukuna way back. With Sukuna in his Kurama space, whatever, Zengetsu world, whatever we call it.
Right.
Where he had conversation with him, like I felt like he was upset with obviously he's upset with what he was doing, but like I'm pretty sure he could see that Sukuna fought Megumi. I could be wrong about that, but
I don't think they had a conversation specifically about that, but maybe Sukuna like told him what he did, in the inner domain, you know what I mean? Like before his body gave out, or after his body gave out, you know what I mean? Like I don't think we've ever had like actual confirmation that like Yuji was like, you son of a bitch, you did this while you had my body, you know what I mean? Like
sure, yeah.
So
I don't know. Maybe that's just the way I took it. It felt like there was maybe a little bit more of a. Well, I guess it's so hard to say because it's like no matter what, you're gonna be mad at a demon for taking over your body, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
right.
But wow, bro.
But yeah, I still think. I mean, why would Yuji after image away? You know, and is he fast enough to after image away from Yaga, who's very fucking strong himself, who is a grade 1, maybe not grade 1. Yeah, he's grade 1. He's just not special grade.
Right. Well, I think you're the one who thinks he did, right? So why do you think Yuji could do that?
Yeah, you're the one who thinks.
You're the one who said he dropped him off.
So what the hell are you
and
talking
then
about?
you're the one who said he
definitely drops him off.
Yeah, he drops him off.
Sukuna does maybe.
Yeah,
someone
Sukuna
in
drops him off.
Yuji's body does.
Yeah, and then you said Yaga saw this panel of Yuji, and then he I guess I'm pretty confused.
It's literally Sukuna saying not much longer. The very next panel, we're back at the principal, and they're like, oh shit, Fushiguro's right there. Mm-hmm. And somebody blitzed away, and then it's a time passing panel, and then it's Yuji again.
Yeah.
So you skip the panel where he says, "I thought I saw Itadori for a second," or was it
right?
Sukuna?
So in that moment, right?
He's
so
just
implying that,
right?
Implying that he's going like, "Oh shit," or was that Sukuna?
Right.
I don't know.
So Yaga could so like before he after imaged away, he could see a shape of a person, and he like kind of focused in for a second. Was like, I think that's Yuji, and then he's gone. And he's like, or was it Sukuna, because he knows Sukuna is inhabiting him, and obviously a bunch of destruction has just been done in the entire city. You could probably make an inference that like Sukuna had control of the body at that point. But it was in that moment where he drops him off and then after images away where he's like, I think that was Yuji Itadori or Sukuna. Like,
which it would be hard to tell.
And then the time passes.
See the face markings in just a flash second.
Yeah. You know? And then the time passes.
He's obviously just setting him. And then.
Right. So we could be pretty confident that the next chapter will start with Yuji overlooking the damage in a completely different area.
Yeah. Right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
No, I do think it is interesting.
That, yes.
I do think it's interesting to consider. Like, Yuji. So let's say the order of events is slightly different. Sukuna goes, not much longer. It dispels. Yuji is right by Fushiguro and goes, oh shit, I really need to bring him to the medics.
Oh yeah, because why would
But I also need to
Sukuna
bounce because they are going to think I did this.
Yeah.
And so he brings him there and leaves, and it is Yuji. But I just will lean more towards
No.
I feel like I like that more.
I feel like if the reason why he'd be bouncing is to go maybe save more people, bring him back. If he was
Yuji's not that type
at that
of
point. Not
to say run away. He'll face like he would say no.
Oh
help Megumi. He would be running up to Shoko right to her face like help Megumi right now. He definitely wouldn't drop off and run away and say I need to bounce because they're going to try to execute me. I'm pretty sure Yuji's going to face this head on. Yuji might not even be against being executed after seeing all this. He'd be like, fuck it, I am fucked up.
Yeah, I blew it.
I blew it. Yeah, I deserve this. So
and see, like this, there's been dialogue like so many times. Like remember, and people have been bringing it up on the timeline. Actually, there's a really cool tweet that I saw. And I can't remember who had it, but like it was like remembering that time when Yuji and Megumi were having that argument where Yuji's like, I need to save people, and then Megumi's like, well, what are you gonna do if someone you save goes on to kill a bunch of fucking people? You know what I mean? And like then Yuji, like I'm pretty sure that exact thing happens. And then he tells someone like, you better not fucking, he was talking to Sukuna. He's like, you better not fucking tell Megumi about this or something like that. It was like a panel where him and Sukuna were talking. He had the face on the cheek. And then he's like, don't tell Megumi about, because he's remembering that conversation because what Megumi said, what if actually happened, and Yuji feels terrible about it. And now you have this situation here where Sukuna is taken over his body and killed a bunch of fucking people. And it's like, how is Megumi going to like how is he gonna face Megumi, like knowing that he's responsible technically for a mass murder? You know what I mean? From Sukuna.
Now that you said that,
yeah,
I feel like it's been a while since we got like the little chibi Sukuna face mouth. Just talking shit to Yuji.
Yeah,
man, that's an element that I miss.
We'll probably see that more now that he's eaten 15 fingers, because I feel like maybe you get that less the more control you get over the fingers you've eaten. But yeah, but man, I really wish that I could have remembered like the timeline of like the events that I literally just tried to like recap, because it's like I feel like I just made no sense a minute ago. But like I swear to God, I saw the panels and it like is totally like
made sense.
A beautiful like potential future plot point between their two characters, and it's like anyway, I don't know. I'm good though.
Yeah, that's all I have for this chapter.
Yeah, that's all I had as well. So, well, then with that, I think we can go ahead and move right into chapter 82 of Chainsaw Man. Always eat a hearty breakfast.
Fam.
Man, I'm tired of this story, man. Not really,
facts,
but I'm hurt. You know, we're all hurt.
Dude, this
right?
chapter
like,
was so fucked up. So wait, so did Makima like open up his pants and look at his dick and then just start laughing at him?
No.
Okay, I don't know why I thought that's what she did.
It was questionable. Though,
yeah, I was like, she's about to give him some head real quick, and then
I did think there was something. I thought she was gonna like lift up his shirt and like blow on his tummy, you know, like in a raspberry. But no, I don't think she did.
I don't know why, but I was like, this bitch, because obviously the whole like chapter is her psychologically attacking Denji. So right. I'm like, well, damn, bro. Like, if you unzip his shit and like laugh at his wiener, like that's pretty bad.
That's the difference. There's the difference in our house between Noxie and Nickums right there. He's like, she's gonna laugh at his wiener, and Nick's was like, no, she's just gonna give him a raspberry on the stomach. Y'all are crazy, man.
Well, what did she do then?
She just fell over and laughed.
Yeah, and then she was like this kind of, and then she like turned her face. Yeah, it's just being a fucking crazy bitch, man.
I could have sworn her hand being like up here, like in the middle panel of page 3, was like her like. But there's no sound effects of like zip or anything. But like I totally just like assumed it was like. I was like, no.
If there was like a zip and a swift, then maybe you could, say something about that. But
if it helps you think about it, on the previous page, on page 2, as she's going down to his lap, her hand is already up by her face.
For sure.
She's going like this and then kind of going over, whatever. Like she's just bursting with laughter. She's about to bust out laughing.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's better.
And that's also it really hurt. I was like, God damn this bitch!
Yeah, like what you laughing at, bitch?
What you laughing at?
Yeah, that was terrible. But man, so. Her real devil, it's not the control devil now, right? It's the lawyer devil. She's finding loopholes in contracts. You gotta be scared of the defense lawyer, bro. And hey, I saw something that said Phoenix wrong, devil attorney. I was like, come on, man,
that's amazing,
dude. Okay, wait though. So this is like a real, like as psychologically like damaging as this chapter is supposed to be for like Denji and the reader. Like this is a pretty important chapter, like peeking into like Denji's origin, right? Because like
yeah,
it's like, dude, like holy shit, you killed your dad and you like suppressed that, like, you know what I mean?
Gyro.
Like, yeah, you know, like and like I don't know, dude. If you take a look at like Homunculus and whatnot, it talks about like the relationship between like the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, and how you like shove things down into the unconscious, you know, because you don't want to remember it, you suppress shit. You know what I mean? So like that's like totally like some other shit, bro. I was not expecting that at all from Denji's character. Like,
right.
So when she says that this wasn't a promise, this is a contract, which means if Denji fails to live a normal life, which is obviously Makima's goal, contract is void. What does that mean? What happens when this contract is deemed broken? Like, what is Pochita going to do? You know, like,
well, if he separates from him, then Denji dies, right? Because he has no heart.
Yes, I would expect that. Yes, but I don't think it's going to happen that way. I think it's more of a maybe Denji is going to turn into Sukuna, Pochita version of Sukuna or something. Ooh. I don't know. That's how it would be with like a lot of regular like shonen manga, and Fujimoto just doesn't do shit like that. So I'm reserved on that idea, but it's like I don't have any other idea. Like I don't know what's going to happen once this contract is deemed broken, you know, like if this is in fact an actual contract, which, you know, we've seen devil contracts has been the whole thing, the whole story, but this is a hybrid situation. This is a, almost a parasitic host situation. Like this is different, and it doesn't mean that it can't be a contract, but maybe she's lying about it being a contract to begin with, and this is just more, you know, manipulation and gaslighting here. Because like she's even gaslighting him to feel guilty for killing an abusive father who was going to kill him first, and it's like you don't deserve to like live a normal life. And he's like, nope, I don't. You know, like,
Right.
But still, it's just so crazy how everyone was so confident. I don't even know if like we necessarily had this conversation on the show before, but like people have been theorizing what's behind this door since it was first introduced, and everyone was so confident it's Pochita, and no, it's just a door hiding repressed memories of his childhood. And like insecurities that he has from like a terrible thing that he did. I mean, sure. I mean, you know, like we can't really see too far into this room here. Door. Oh, isn't it definitely the same door?
It's definitely the same door.
Yeah, it's definitely 100% the same door. It's 1000% the same door. Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, we can't really see too far into the room.
Door,
so
doorknob on the right, the one that's open, doorknob on the left.
Oh, okay.
Depends on which way you're looking at the door, like what side of the door you're on.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Are we looking at it from the inside the first time? Because that's the only way this could be the same door.
Yeah, but this door also has all of these papers, like, you know, like all of these papers.
That's the outside of the door we've seen all the time.
Yeah, and then the inside of the door, now that it's open, has all these papers on it too.
Yeah, we've assumed it to be the outside of the door, but it's always been the inside of the door the whole time, because now when you see the door open, you do see the papers from the inside of the door. So it's definitely the same door.
Oh
yeah.
But good call out that the side of the door handle does matter. Which side? Yeah, for sure. That's a good call out, for sure.
And it's really something to be on the inside of the door per se, since we were looking at this the whole time, instead of from Denji's point of view, we were at the dad's point of view, or whoever the point of view.
No, it's the Pochita speaking to the traumatized, like repressed version of him as a kid, saying do not open, on the inside of it, saying do not open this door and release these memories.
Ooh, don't give this shit back to the conscious mind.
That's definitely good.
Okay, but going back to what you were saying, like, you don't know, like, it could be Pochita still could be behind this door or whatever. But like, sure, because we can't really see too far into this room, and it's literally like a little bit of light revealing half of this dead body. Yeah. You know, and then like in the dark space, like, could be Pochita back there. I don't know.
Right.
I just want to.
So here's let me.
Well, time out before you even he's drinking Sapporos and Asahis, right?
I see that now. Yeah.
Let me throw a more extreme theory out here with regards to what we're seeing here, right? So like every single time we've seen the door, you know what I mean? Especially in the more recent chapters or whatever. Basically, Denji sees the door, like Aki's at the door. Aki's at the door, he thinks about the door, and Pochita's like, don't open it, right? And then Denji goes in Makima's apartment to the door to open up the door to see power, and Pochita's like, don't open it, right? Both those situations, Makima is tricking Denji. Makima is tricking Denji. What if this is still Makima is tricking Denji? She says, I went and looked into your past. You know what I mean? Like, I did some detective work, and you killed your dad. Like, did he kill his dad?
Could be a lie.
You know what I mean? Is this her gaslighting him to try and make him feel bad? Because as we were saying, like last episode, right? Like, how does she know when his birthday is? He doesn't even know when his birthday is.
Yeah,
she doesn't know how old she is. He doesn't know how old she is. How does she know any of this stuff? You know what I mean? Like, and of course, yes, you can look into it, but like, it just seems sketchy a little bit.
It does definitely.
I had a similar thought. I definitely had a similar thought, but I thought Makima probably set up Denji to kill his dad from this whole point, and has been. Oh
my god, dude, no!
And has been grooming him, because hybrids, I feel like, even especially Pochita in particular, there has to be special conditions met, more than just I'm dead, chopped up in this box, and I'm going to give you my heart. Yeah, there's a devil here, and I'm going to get, like, there's got to be more to it than fate that Denji and Pochita are together.
Yeah.
And I feel like Makima has cultivated this since Denji was little. Maybe his dad was a devil hunter, or I don't know, went crazy, and maybe in part to Makima, and drove him to drink, and then she's controlling him, maybe, or even controlled him to drink and go crazy and beat his son all the time until it's time to do something about it. Like, I just feel like that this had to be pushed that way. Like, it's just something that's it's just too or just not true. It's either but it has to be true with. But does it actually? I don't know. It's so hard to know with Makima. Like,
now,
you literally never know.
Think back to chapter 1. First time Denji meets Pochita, Pochita is like bleeding, has like bullet holes or something. It's injured. You know what I mean? Like, So how did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, did Makima injure it and point it in the way of Denji to be meet up with this guy. You two become friends. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it'll all work out. This kid is alone, doesn't have a father because I fucked him. I tricked his dad into doing whatever. You know what I mean? And it definitely could be manipulation even.
Yeah, and maybe this is just scratching the surface of how bad Denji was abused by his father. Like, maybe it's far more than just he was about to kill you, you know?
Yeah.
Sexual abuse, whatever, you know, like there could be a lot of shit that could have happened that
killed his mom.
He's really suppressing. I seen Makima is Denji's mom online somewhere. I'm like, come on, calm down. That's not true. That's not right. And that'd be really extra weird for like all these other developments throughout the story. So like, I hope that's not the case. But
oh my god.
But yeah, like I definitely think that this isn't happenstance, right? Like this is. I feel like this is calculated. Hashtag. You know.
Yeah. Holy moly!
Yeah, this whole chapter was difficult.
Hey, but you know what? Of all the things we talked, there is like one very important meaning to this whole story that I think we glossed over, and that's always eat a hearty breakfast. Make sure you're prepared for the day, ready for the world. And no, it's just like a slap in the face, and she's sitting here just eating breakfast like regular as fuck with Denji like broken on the couch and Power dead in the hallway. It's like, bitch, I hate you.
Oh, dude,
how are you just eating breakfast so casually? I hate you.
So last week we were talking about how. So didn't someone have an idea that these dogs like don't exist, or whatever?
No, I was saying that they weren't there in the panels where they were walking up to the door when there's a visitor, and they should be walking up to the door if they're acting like real dogs. So I was thinking maybe that wasn't exactly reality at that time.
Oh yeah, but then the dogs are here, and Denji's passed out, so there's no reason to continue the genjutsu. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's curious that she's trying to break the contract with him and Chainsaw. I think what we're saying, what we've been saying the whole time about how you can't control hybrids, she can't control hybrids, is really valid.
Yeah,
she's probably trying to get the contract voided so that she can control the Chainsaw Devil.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
She can control devils as freely as she wants.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think there's a lot of credence to, you know, that Cerberus shit I was talking about. I think this reinforces it.
Yeah, I love that.
If she controls the flow of the reincarnation of devils, that means she can actually slowly, you know, she can cut off reincarnation, take control of all the ones, slowly start letting them out.
Yeah.
Increase her fucking arsenal of control.
You have to make a contract with her or she will not reincarnate you.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Plus she's got all these dogs around, so it's like Cerberus like makes so much sense, like because of how because of all the dog shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I brought the Cerberus shit up because apparently somebody was telling me in the Discord that somebody shared that shit on the Chainsaw Man Reddit. Shouts out.
Shout out to that guy or that person.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nice.
Appreciate you.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got though. It's hard to take I mean, there wasn't much to go on this, right? Like we see the devastation, but like it's hard to theorize on this.
Yeah. And plus we had a fucking banger of a fucking theory episode last week as far as like
last week
was some crazy shit. Like,
hour-long Chainsaw Man segment.
Yeah, and then now 15 minutes.
Right.
I mean, that's Fujimoto for
that's
you,
man. Fujimoto though. Yeah.
It was just like this chapter was just depressing.
Yeah.
It was like definitely.
Yeah,
if you're still simping Makima, you got to get your brain checked, bro.
Yeah, and it's a little bit less. You know, I don't know, man. The laughing at the wiener thing really drove them to put the last nail in the coffin for me. I was like, she's really trying to crumble this man. So it's a little bit less.
That would be demoralizing. That would be very demoralizing. I can't lie. She pulls your shit out and she's like,
and he's been trying to, and he's been,
wouldn't know what story I'm reading.
He's been trying to hook up with Makima the whole time, you know. So maybe she's like, okay, now that I know
he's rock solid.
Yeah, well, not.
Let's move on. We're getting too deep into this narrative. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Say
I'm
words
good.
and leave. Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, with that, I think we can probably go ahead and move right into chapter 28 of Mashle.
Yeah.
Mash Van Dead and the Broken Mask.
Wow.
I really love this chapter.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? It's so
this hurricane rush
The
was
art in
fucking
this chapter
crazy.
where he's just punching them all through this fucking dome,
Ding,
bro.
ding,
Like,
ding,
this
ding,
shit is-
ding, ding, ding.
Well,
Love the
you know
love
it
the
is,
arc
right?
of like the dome breaking. Like
Yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
the dome was a dome. I thought it was just like drawn.
a visual representation of the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
Yeah,
is that a rule, do you think, guys, going forward, where it's like similar to a domain where you have to, or almost you are unable to break out of these fucking things, you know? Because he was like incredibly shocked that like
that
this thing was broken.
I mean, Lance's was with the graviole secund or whatever.
It didn't seem like there was a
it was
a
it was
dome
it
like
was
this.
yeah it was like I think it was open on the sides, but then again it was like gravity, so it was sucking you in. But it was like just a bunch of totem, like a sword,
the spires,
the
whatever.
Maybe his was a box.
It's probably an area to where, like, you know, within the height of those pillars, there's a field, you know, an invisible box.
Yeah, we didn't see the field drawn. Yeah,
if you're inside that, you're getting controlled by this gravity.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, excited to see more of these, to get more implicit rules. You know, I don't think they're going to say like, yes, all second spells are a domain, and you know there is a barrier or kind of thing. We might get that eventually, but until then, we're going to have to try and piece it together from just what we can see.
Yeah.
But this is heavy Naruto influence on here, right?
Yeah,
that's Hidden Lotus he's doing.
That's
full Hidden Lotus.
Yeah.
It's not just Primary Lotus, which most people would see as Primary Lotus at the end.
Yeah.
The whole him punching and boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
That's Hidden Lotus, the whole thing. And he's got a bowl cut.
Yeah,
sure.
He is Rock Lee.
He is Rock Lee, though.
He's Magic Rock Lee. And then with Abyss's dialogue, like, I am a tool for Abel. I'm not even a good tool at this point, but that's Zabuzan Haku. Like, that's exactly Zabuzan Haku.
Yeah.
Where Haku was like, I'm a tool for Zabuza. You know, even though that wasn't the case. Like, I mean, on the surface, maybe, sure, but like, they obviously had a deeper bond, which maybe these guys do. It doesn't feel like, you know, Abyss and Abel really do. We've only seen Abel like for that small period of time. He has three lines, and he was like controlling the fucking dolls, and Mash bit the fucking button off the fucking dude. To switch the coin around. That shit was so tight. I had to go back because I was like, where did they meet? I had to go back and reread that chapter. That was super cool to reread that again. But yeah, like those. This is heavy Naruto influence on this one.
For sure.
And we were talking about, me and Noxie were talking about that on the Patreon show, like how these new age manga are really, really paying their homage and taking, you know, things like this and really cultivating it their own way and making it new and fresh and making it feel just, you know, like, obviously we see where it comes from, but yet do it in a nice, perfectly different way that we're going to love, like, especially people of our age too, that grew up with some Naruto and whatnot.
Without saying, this is just a reskin. Like, you're not borrowing, you're not taking too much, you know, of the influence, like, from those previous pioneers or those previous, like, stories that influenced you and copying it to a degree where it's, like, comical. You know what I mean? So
it's like the manga version of, you know, the classic Akira motorcycle skid. You know what I mean? You see that motorcycle skid in just so many animes.
It's happened in like 20 animes at least.
So we're gonna start getting those with like, that's full Lotus or whatever. That's primary Lotus, full Lotus. Like, I recognize that ability or whatever. We're definitely gonna keep getting that over time for sure.
Dude, he fucking
exactly. You know, that was a great spot because he does punch him.
Yep.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing.
Kicks him up, and then
it's boom, 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 boom.
And even the illustration of it on the way down, where it's like two. That same illustration.
Yeah. And am I the only one that's like, I when I was going through this chapter, I was like, okay, this is a devastating rush here. He's coughing up blood.
Yeah,
but he doesn't seem like he's that damaged by it. Like,
I agreed.
Yeah, I was like, this is way too much damage.
He has like
for him
bloody
to just
marks, like where blood has dried on the side of his mouth. But I'm just like, I feel like he should still be coughing up active blood right now. Blood should not have stopped.
Yeah, he just like sits right up, and he was like, oh, like it's like, is this a fighting like video game? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand that or
a physical fighter.
I mean, yeah, but this is so far above like what I assumed he would be able to handle despite that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, you can definitely write it off, but you could also you could also have a problem with it.
Yeah,
yeah. You could.
Well,
you can
Mash
go either
just
way
got cut
with
up a
it.
bunch.
No,
And he's
I would
not really
disagree.
bleeding like he should be.
Exactly.
True, that's
Mash
true
got cut
too.
up a
That's
bunch.
true too.
Yeah, and grabs the
too.
fucking sword, the broken sword. That's so tight.
That was
Okay, so yeah, when did the
tight.
sword break?
I don't remember when the sword broke.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, because
I
like,
do not.
he like stabs and he like grabs it with his hand, and I was like, did he stab him in the head? Because this sword looks a little bit too short here.
Did he flex and break it off in his abs?
Oh man,
I hope so, because that's badass.
Yeah, that's
That'd be
badass.
so crazy.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't think so. I think maybe it was last chapter.
It would have had to have been last
I feel
chapter
like
because
it
I don't
was
see him
last
breaking
chapter,
it. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, my absolute favorite part though is after he grabs the sword. So he grabs the sword with his right hand, and then after that, the next panel is my sword was, but in that not the next, but the one right after that, you see Fwish, you see the after image, and it's a 360 back. It's a MMA move. It's a fucking the backspin backhand, and it's Anderson Silva did them all the time. Spun around, backhands him. Abyss blocks it, but he still gets flung and hit into the wall as he blocks it. That was my favorite part. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, bro, that's some Anderson Silva shit right there. That was tight as fuck. The backhand, you don't see the backhand too much.
You don't see the backhand too much. Yeah.
So I found the place where the sword breaks. It is last chapter 27.
Page 19.
Page 19. Yeah, there's like a baki, and then you see the middle panel is the sword snap.
Oh,
okay. I remember that
from
now.
the punch.
Yep, from the punch.
I think we might have
blocked
even
with the
talked
sword
about
and it broke. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we even mentioned that he blocked with the sword and it broke the sword with the punch. I'm pretty sure we said that last week.
I don't recall mentioning it broke, but like obviously that's where it broke. So yeah.
We did say that he blocked with the sword for sure on that. Like I remember that being mentioned, but yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, this is like top 5 prettiest manga right now. We're out and jump.
I swear,
like,
bro. It's like this, like Kaiju 8
yeah.
has like perfect line work.
Kaiju
like,
8, man.
Yeah,
is
like,
very good too.
And then like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna say My Hero Academia. You're not gonna agree, but
no, I won't. But that's fine.
No.
But I think My Hero Academia looks
panels
fucking
for 5
beautiful.
minutes
I would
this
say
week.
Black Clover.
Yeah, action, sure, but
yeah.
like. Yeah, and we've had
No,
this
but I mean,
conversation
Horikoshi
many
just
times.
has the strength in the fucking.
Yeah.
Well, he has the ominous like Shigaraki coming at the screen, breaking crazy. Like that's his strength. You know? And,
I mean,
he's
landscapes
good at that,
too, though. Like his backgrounds are fucking like beautiful too.
Yeah.
But so are Fujimoto's. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So I think Mashle and Kaiju 8 are probably the most well-rounded art. Jump right now, like
and One Punch Man,
and
if you count that, right?
Right. Yeah,
that's a monthly. Yeah,
Why
still
showing love to Tabata?
Yeah, he's good
I
too.
mean,
Yeah, that's quite good.
No,
Yeah.
Black Clover is definitely for a weekly.
Illustration is,
Yeah, for sure, definitely one of them. You see, Kaiju gets every 4th week off. You know, and we'll see how Mashle keeps going. Like, I mean, is he gonna keep up this pace of great artwork? Like, I mean, I expect it.
Yeah,
but. You could see with every mangaka, sometimes you see weeks that waver, like it happens. But this isn't, we're 28 chapters in, like you don't get to waver yet. You don't get to waver until 100, right? Like,
And I understand that Abyss Razor like gets humbled like really crazy by like Mash here, but I just feel like the pathos injection that we got here in like his background with like his parents like trying to kill him and like hating him or whatever. And like he's been kind of like hinting at that in his dialogue like pretty much since this fight started. But like I just feel like it's just almost like too quick of a change in his like, because his original aura, demeanor, confidence and dialogue were so like intense and so like holy shit, like this guy, then he gets whooped, and so obviously
I'd reconsider your words. That's one of the tightest panel ever.
Yeah. Like, and then and then now he like gets
Very
whooped
ominous.
here, and then now it's just like
I think it's just Mash's like really contagious personality. You know what I mean? Like Mash is like a pure good boy. And like I said last week or whatever, like like Mash should be this dude's friend. He won't be affected by the eyeball, and he even suggests like
you definitely did say exactly
or whatever.
this. Yes, wow, you called the entire end of this chapter. entirely.
Doesn't it feel well now with this? Doesn't it feel like he is going to join the team, or at least be cool with MASH? He doesn't necessarily have to join the team.
I got that vibe.
But like he's
hey,
going
come to
he's going to help in the final battle, probably.
Yeah, he doesn't have to join the team, but he could be
not right
an
now,
outer character.
Right.
He could be an outer character that's like, okay, I'm not going to fuck with Abel, and I'm not going to fuck with M.A.N.G.A Lupus like that anymore. I really respect MASH, but like I'm still not like, I'm just doing my thing out here. Everybody hates me, so like I need to do my own thing or whatever. And
he's going to sit on this ass whooping, and then he's like, and then MASH is probably going to be having issues with the final M.A.N.G.A Lupus dude, and then Abel's going to come in and be like, you want to know what, dude? Like, I don't want to be a tool. Like, I want to be a partner. Like, boom, MASH.
Or he could sacrifice himself in that fight for MASH. That'd be wild, bro.
Oh, man.
Certainly, like, regardless of if Abyss joins the team now or later or whatever, like his eye needs to be addressed. You know what I mean? Like his eye is, this evil eye is something that could probably get him arrested, probably get him shunned by society. He won't be able to just be with the crew and have it be a normal thing. Like, if he looks at you, you can't use your magic, and that's going to be very off-putting to everyone but MASH. And it might actually reveal that MASH doesn't have magic. You know what I mean? If he's able to do what he does around Abyss, but no one else can do magic, like that's going to be a weird hint. So it's like I don't think he's going to join right away, because it's just going to be too hard to write around that. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
And so it would be interesting. How does it get resolved?
What'd you say, Eagle?
They just got to put an eye patch on this man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Start there. Yeah.
Okay.
All you got to do is cover that eye. You know what I'm saying? That eye has to look at you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
So did anybody notice on this last panel of this last page, the mask like
cracking?
You know what I mean? Like on its own. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Symbolic.
Okay.
Exactly. It's like
his old, metaphorical
persona has
emotional
broken.
mask,
Yes.
persona breaking, and his basis of
or it's like when you
thought the world
the trope,
worked or whatever.
Yeah, or like the trope of you have a teacup and the teacup breaks and it's very ominous, right? You didn't do anything, and you're just drinking tea and it just cracks or whatever. That's like super ominous, and this is like the same kind of metaphor, right? Like it's a metaphor.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Well, and
if there's something else though,
that's what I'm saying. Like I initially thought since Abel controls dolls, that he may have watched the whole fight through the mask.
Ooh.
And,
it's like a doll's face, essentially.
A doll's face, yeah. That's. But I kind of came around to the symbolism. I was like, that might be a stretch right now, but I don't know. I mean, it could be either.
Never know.
I mean, symbolism is the easier. Like that one makes more sense to me. Like, he's moved on from this masked persona, and he is now reinvented himself.
He's partially accepted who he is. He's partially opened up to the possibility of having friends. He's opened up to the possibility of not being a huge shitbag. You know what I mean?
There are people that will accept him out there. But he was positive that no one would.
Yeah.
And now he is reborn.
There's one guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love MASH so much.
So you guys think we're going to what's the next fight here? Finn, right?
I hope Finn.
If it's not Finn, I'm just gonna be upset. It's like, what are we doing? Like, we need to get Finn. We gotta get Finn some reps, bro. He needs to get some stripes on his uniform. He's got to do something, right?
Because there's 4 of them, right? Yeah. So it's So that is the next fight, because Finn is with Buddy.
Doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're against those two.
Yeah, and Doubt beat one already. No, he didn't. They haven't even started fighting.
No, he beat a different guy. He beat a different guy. So Doubt's going to be on his second fight, which is beast. I'm glad to see something like that. Doubt's going to get 2 fights. You assume Lance is going to get another fight, and obviously MASH is going to get another fight.
Yeah.
But it would be cool, like just for Doubt's character, because he is your Kuwabara, right? Like, it's so hard since we have fucking Finn as well, because like, who's Finn? Finn is Usopp. We got Usopp and Kuwabara on the same team.
Right.
Like,
that's one hell of a matchup. Or that's one hell of a pairing.
Zoro and Usopp, man.
Zoro
and Usopp.
You think Doubt's Zoro?
Kuwabara is kind of same position as Zoro is.
Oh, I think we're talking more like
position, but more personality. Personality more.
Yeah, personality. Yeah. Doubt is definitely a Kuwabara type. So and there's just no way I'm not gonna like a Kuwabara type. So like, I want to see Doubt get reps in, but obviously we need to know what the fuck Finn's magic is. We've been speculating on for weeks. We say it's fucking lightning.
We know it's gotta be lightning, bro. No, because I looked it up after that. Like last week when I talked about how like your line design is like indicative of what kind of be.
It is
indicative.
Ain't it?
It's just a line. It's just a straight line. I could have sworn it was a lightning
bolt.
Yeah,
Fins is just a line.
I could have sworn it was a lightning bolt. Yeah, go look, dude. I like after last week's like coverage, I was like, man, we just cracked the code, bro. And then I like go back and look at Finn, and it's just like just a straight line. So pissed.
Tragic.
Did you look it up? Did you look at it?
Yeah, I did. And it was a straight line, but a straight line could be so many things. Like it could literally be like reality altering, right? Like you altered the line of time. Tell me a straight line. I mean, in this story, have we seen any other straight lines? I don't really remember. I mean, maybe MASH has one, but
Lance.
He
has two straight lines,
right?
The double liner with two straights.
But it kind of comes out to his cheek and then comes straight down, don't
it does?
A cheekbone. That could be a cheekbone.
Oh, no.
It could be a cheekbone thing.
Or it could be like the control of gravity. Yeah. Like it wants to go like this. It wants to go like this, but like now it's got to go down because gravity.
Yeah, now it's down. I'm pretty sure it flares out a little bit before it comes down. Yeah. But I could be wrong. It definitely could be a cheekbone.
But thing. I mean, either way, we are 100% positive that this dude, Abyss Razor's line is telling of what his magic is.
It's not only his. Lemon's is the lock, which is the fucking cuffs.
Yes.
Like there's more, and actually, Doubt is the heart. Or it's like a heart on the meter, whatever the fuck's that called.
Echocardiogram kind of.
Yeah, echocardiogram. Yep, there you go. Yes, but and that also in most manga, it symbolizes like
an explosion.
It's
like there's nothing, and then there's a big spike, and then there's nothing again.
Like a needle on a Richter, like an earthquake. Like
a Richter scale, yes.
A wiggle Richter scale has happened from the shockwave of the explosion or something.
Yeah.
So lines can definitely. I mean, are all lines it would make sense that if you're going to have so many all of them would be indicative of what your magic affinity is or what your magic type is. But like, it could be a situation where just some are blatant, you know what I mean? And like,
or maybe
others,
like straight line could be anything, but if you are really strong, it will morph. It'll change into a shape more indicative of the ability or something. So maybe it could be lightning.
Maybe your lines will change with your strength. So maybe they're not just one straight line.
Finn's is gonna be a lightning bolt after this fight.
Yeah. That'd be so tight.
Well, and because like when we saw Lord Abel, Abel's he had 3 lines, and one was like way up here and like down here, where he had 2 off his eye, but a third one looked way the fuck different. So it's
puppet strings having different lengths.
Right.
Sure, that's pretty good. That's pretty.
I like that.
You're talking about the one that comes down like this, and then 2 more come down like this.
Yeah, that's Abel. That's Abel.
Yep. So who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah,
we'll get it.
And as we talked about before, we did get like this kind of mysterious dialogue of, I've been a dual line user my entire life, implying like, could you not do that? Could you grow more lines or that kind of stuff? So yeah. More to discover.
I think that's about all I had.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
All right then. Well, with that, I think we can go ahead and move right into Chapter 262 of A Turbulent Conference.
I am loving Black Clover right now.
Yeah, I really like this chapter.
Not bad.
Bro, I'm loving
it's just good.
I love Noct. I just love this situation in the story right now.
Charlotte Rosalie I could do without, but like right at this point, but like it's just so much.
I hate what's happened to her.
Yeah, no, she used to be so tough and
just
like
threw
good,
her fucking character away for a cheap laugh.
Right in the dumpster. Yeah, I hate it.
But other than that, I'm digging the fuck out of the direction right now.
This is a good chapter. Very good chapter.
And I love the little devil.
I just said she's still a badass.
Yeah, she's still a badass, she's still a badass, but like before it was like you're an independent badass who's like a really like cool like situation inside of the story, and now like your entire character is dependent.
Act, though.
Huh?
That was an act.
Well, sure, but I mean,
we got a really good look into like her psychological shit, where she was pent up her entire life because of the curse, and then Yami, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, came in,
but made her fall in love, and
but I don't know. But did you need to add like? Did you need to make her character hang on Yami's because of that? You know what I mean? Like you didn't like
she
now
loves him.
Well, sure, and that's fine, but like I'm talking about how like you can have like where are the like you have Mario Leona. Right. And then you had Charlotte at the same time as Mario Leona. And you had like this amazing, like badass, like independent female dynamic. And then like one of the two like shining examples of this in your story, you give one of them like a fangirl obsession with a dude that she's in love with. And now like her character like can't really exist anymore without her having this duality inside of her that's like Yami, like every time that we see her, it's going to be Yami obsessive now, and it's like
it's
that dynamic is unnecessary. Like you could be in love with someone and not be cringy like that. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
and more than that, like she could be conflicted with her. That's the thing, like that.
Yami, you know.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, if she was in love with Yami, still is fine, but conflicted about it because she has her own goals and her own things, and she's like you know, and she's like struggling with it. Like that would have done a lot for her character, right? Like it wouldn't have been just like a quick, like little one-off, real quick, where you know I'm
like Uraraka. That's a great example of that.
Exactly
Like, she likes Deku,
exactly right.
But she's conflicted about it. She has her own goals and own motivations.
Yes, she doesn't want to ride coattails. She wants to do her own thing. She wants to be who she is. And you know, like, what's wrong with just having women that aren't dependent on men characters? And I know it's a shonen story, but like
right.
You just don't.
It's not that
need it.
It's not that Tabata can't fix the situation, you know what I mean, and bring it back on track. And maybe just for a long time, her character has been very one-dimensional. But like, what is the term, like Flanderization or whatever? Where like, say in The Simpsons, like Flanders just became like a parody of himself. You know what I mean? And all of his character was just like, hey diddly biddly, you know? And then his character became just so one-dimensional that it was boring. You don't want that to happen to any character. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like even if a character is well written, like useful, significant, like etc. Like if they fall to pieces, you know what I'm saying, and like basically act out of character, or the character that we understand of them so far, to serve up some like contrived like anime joke inside of shonen where you're now obsessed with another male lead. It's like, why do that to one of the dominating female independent characters in your series just because it's funny? Like she can be in love with fucking Yami without turning into a drooling, like schoolgirl over him, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't think that that's necessary. That's one major gripe that I have with Tabata's storytelling, and I feel like that's where a lot of male mangaka like fall flat, is that they think that's a trope that like that should be used, you know what I mean? And it's like,
and it would just be, I mean, I just always love, even if she's in love with him, that she wants to fight him and gain his respect, or maybe just win out, be better than him. Like there can be love and competition, and like there could be all these feelings together that like culminate a character that isn't just, like you're saying, one-dimensionally. Now we're fangirling, where we're like, we could love, be conflicted about it because you got your own goals. You still want to best them and be better than them. You want your fucking Blue Rose squad to be the best squad out there.
Like we had a Wonder Woman. We had Wonder Woman in Black Clover, and now we have like an overly sappy, wildly emotional, whenever Yami's brought up, like gaggy, like comedic, like comic relief like situation inside of a character that really didn't need it at all, in my opinion.
And there's other
comic relief.
That's definitely a joke. It's
in this
definitely
instance, I don't think it was comic relief.
Okay, well, I mean,
it's
the funny
like an
face
introspection
is
into her worriedness about. What funny face? What?
So right. So like
the face is like.
The one you're talking about,
the man she loves that just got kidnapped and is probably going to get killed.
Page 9.
The one you're talking about
would be
the first one where she comes out.
Yeah, the first one where she comes out. That's fine. She's super worried about Yami.
Okay,
yeah,
no, I mean that's
not an issue.
In a way,
I was going to ask where the other one is.
So like not specifically in this chapter. I mean,
you're talking about past ones.
I'm talking about past ones specifically, but there is a moment here where there is like a funny like where Rill, I think is their name,
Rill,
and she's like, could be dead already. You know what I'm saying? She's like, keep your frivolous guesses to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, and like that's fine. That's not ridiculous. But like then we have like the really cringy like she almost confessed her love, or like thought that like Yami figured it out, and she like squealed at the top of her lungs and ran through the fucking city at like Mach 5 and like ran on water like down into the fucking like over the horizon and shit. It's like
that's like, a joke. That's funny.
It's like,
that was a comedic. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's like, and it's like I could just tell
in this instance. Though, I think it's kind of a testament to her resolve and strength, though. Too.
Yeah.
When she is as worried about somebody that she cares about so much.
Yeah.
Still keep this type of composure around people.
Yeah, it's not always going to be cringy when it like their dynamic is a lot more than just cringy love obsession. Obviously, you know what I mean.
And
but
she still got that drive. Like she's still a captain out here.
Yeah,
she's still trying to be the best.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not saying her character is entirely different. I'm not saying she's not still a badass. I'm not.
But the gag is there.
I'm just saying it
very gag heavy.
I just didn't like it, and I felt like it wasn't necessary to do that to like one of your two, dominating female figures in your story.
Especially since Vanessa is already that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And yeah, exactly.
Vanessa is already the same thing, kind of, in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, no, not cringy to this degree, but like Vanessa loves Yami too. Like she. Yeah. Like yeah.
Yeah, but she's kind of like loves everybody. She's just like a really touchy.
Yeah, but I feel like her and Yami probably hooked up.
She does.
She definitely loves Yami.
She has some feelings for
sure.
Yami, but it's not like in a comedic way.
Still, I'm just
right.
Anyway, how about let's just move along. So first thing, it's all good.
Because this chapter is amazing. This chapter is amazing.
It is. So could Asta always sense the devil's key too? Could he sense the word devil key? I don't remember, because he says that key, it's a devil. He's talking with a devil like it's normal. So he sensed the key of the devil.
Yeah, he did say key. Yeah.
So that's really interesting. I totally see that now, but when I was first reading it, I thought he was saying that kid, like kid?
Oh,
that kid. Oh, it's a devil.
Oh, Yeah,
that's definitely. Yeah. But I totally agree with you. Like, key is a key word, an important word in this story. So like, you wouldn't. You'd have a dash. You have the dash after the key instead of the dot dot.
Yeah.
So like, this is a word. That's really interesting. Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I feel like he could sense the word devil key, but I just don't remember it, because this is a one read for me. I haven't read a second time. I don't think I'm going to. But maybe I will. Who knows? Depends how much time I got. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't remember exactly how that worked. If somebody in the comments could let us know.
Yeah, some of the comments.
Yes, please. Our comment sections have been really good on like reminding us about like Black Clover stuff that like.
Definitely, we got a lot of good fans. You guys, we appreciate it, because me personally, I guess I shouldn't say we, I'm just gonna speak for myself. My memory for Black Clover is not the greatest.
Neither's mine.
Yes, but mine's not that great, yeah.
Sure. And I think that it did happen. I'm pretty sure he can sense it, but it was never mentioned during Dante, I don't believe, that he could and maybe they just knew he was a devil, so we never had to mention it. But it's, especially if we're going to Spade Kingdom, and even if you don't have a devil yourself and you're like a devil's disciple and you get some of the devil's power and they put something into somebody, that's going to play a big role, I would think, with Asta, dealing with these people to know who's what. And so, I mean, that's a good thing to mark down. Keep that in mind for later. Yep.
Dude, Jack the Ripper is pissed about this, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm so glad, because Jack is Yami's rival, and that's why I'm so mad about Nozel. I'm like, Nozel, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, first of all, you are not Yami's fucking rival. Don't act like you are. Don't act like you're mad. You're Fuego Leon's rival.
Yeah.
You guys are cousins, and you've been rivals since a young kid. Stop. You guys
leave out,
Jack and Yami going. Yeah, this is Jack's fucking shit. Don't be trying to take Jack's shit.
You gotta give Nozel props, though, because even when his rival was fucked up, he kept his composure.
Yeah, it's true.
Did not just go headlong into the fucking shits and waited for the opportunity to fuck him. And then when he met Licht, he said, "Yo, what's up, cuz?"
Yeah. Like, what's up? What's good?
I remember
what happened.
My rival.
Yeah, you ain't getting away with this.
Yeah. So he's, he's speaking from a place of understanding. He's like, don't go do some stupid shit.
Nozel is a lot more brooding.
I just hate Nozel.
Nozel is a lot like Nozel is like the and like Jack is like the Asta. You know what I mean? Like Nozel is a lot more brooding, calculated, rational. like robotic, you know what I mean? Like, okay, what's the most logical way to approach this? But those feelings are still 100. There. And then Jack is like emotions and feelings first, and then like I'll figure out a strategy like when I see these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
like,
you know he's going to Spade.
Oh yeah, he's like nah. He's like
no, but he's definitely going.
Yeah,
no,
it's smoke. It's smoke.
Yeah.
It's smoke.
Yeah, y'all ain't taking my man. So I kill him, not y'all.
Yeah,
you know, like, I got beef with him.
Yeah.
You know, the classic. You know.
Yeah. Love it. Love every moment of this exchange with the captains, bro.
I just fucking hate Nozell, man.
I'm really like Nozell is a bum, bro. Like I am not fucking with Nozell like at all, bro.
He's poorly
He's one of the worst written characters in the
like,
whole shit. Yeah, like
he's poorly written, and there's no way that you could come back from being like basically spitting in your sister's face, spitting in her hair when she's a kid, to like, oh, I was just kidding, man. I just wanted to protect you because you look like mom. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's like Nozell and Vengeance are the two biggest problems I have with fucking Black Clover. Because Nozell shouldn't be like, oh, I was just kidding the whole time. Yeah. And Vengeance, they should have threw his bitch ass in the dungeon.
They should be a lot more upset with this dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Those are the two characters that I have the biggest problem with.
Yeah. And maybe we're supposed to have the biggest problem with them, but like, it would be one thing if we if we just didn't like them from like, you know, like a narrative like standpoint, like thematically, like they are obviously characters you're not supposed to like.
Means for that.
Yeah, but like also it's just like no, like these are just like not well written ways to go about the handling of these characters either. Like it doesn't make sense.
Tabata tried to make us like Nozell. And tried to make us like Vengeance. When it's like, no, y'all don't deserve this yet. You guys got more to do, and it can't just be explained away as
swept under a rug.
Like mom. You can't sweep their fucking narratives under a rug with like, oh, I was just kidding the whole time. Like it's like, come on, man. Like, you gotta have more than that. Like Nozell, and you gotta cut that braid. I'm tired of that shit.
Wait, have we seen what dude with the Monopoly mustache can do and like the winged haircut? Do we know what he's got?
He's the new Purple Orca because the last Purple Orca dude was on the shady shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was the traitor that they caught in the hallway. Yeah.
The masked dude. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't know.
I gotta say though, when page 13, like after page 12, you know, Nozell says like, you're not the only one who wants to kill those fools with his own hands. And yes, you know, fuck that guy. But like the next panel on the next page, everyone's like, you got these like little black dots in the air.
Yeah, everyone is
like pity. Like it's like this electricity in the air. This like everyone's on edge. And you know, Fuego just like slams down with his firearm. Like I at this point in the chapter, I was like, we're in here.
That was some good tension.
I love that Fuego keeps his character because this is what Fuego has really been. He basically serves the purpose of Julius when Julius is just sitting there dumbfounded. And that's what also makes me mad too a little bit is that Julius is just kind of standing there blank-faced after he does that, like, you know, ellipses. You know, it's like, do your job. Why is Fuego Leon doing your job for you?
Yeah.
Shut these people up. Like, why? You could rein it in. This is you're the emperor.
And look at the way Yuno is glaring at the beginning of the chapter. Look at the way Yuno is glaring at Julius. Like, fam.
Oh, yeah.
My people are dead. They got Yami. He's just looking at fucking Julius like.
Yeah.
Like, you incompetent.
Oh, so you think he's glaring at Julius in particular?
Well, yeah, because I mean, like, you have the stare. Like, okay, so like they're all there, and then you have two panels of Julius, like one of him far away and then one of him close up, like looking at, or maybe he's not looking at Julius, and maybe Julius just sees that Yuno is the most distraught from the situation that just happened, and he's like,
I think you could say
poor Yuno, dude. You know what I mean?
Yuno's not looking at Julius. Julius is looking at Yuno.
Julius is looking at Yuno.
Sure. Well,
but it definitely does feel like it because you have the Jul or you have the Yuno stare panel, and then you have the one of Julius far away from Yuno's perspective over the shoulder with the illustration like technique of like the lines at the bottom that like imply a stare is being pointed in that direction. But it could, you know, like you maybe those lines would be closer to Julius if he was staring at Yuno. But like the illustration technique of like those really like thin lines seem like they're pointing from around Yuno towards Julius.
That's the way I took it.
Yeah, that's the way I initially took it too. Yeah. But
it definitely could be that way.
Yeah. And how about
but like, what would Yuno be mad at Julius for? Like, because obviously, like,
that's what I'm saying.
If that's a stare like that, you'd think that he'd be looking at him like, you incompetent motherfucker. Like, this is probably all your fault to some degree. But it's like, it's like, how could you blame Julius just because, like, what? Like, he, like, I'm trying to think, like, maybe I'm missing something and I just forget a reason why this is Julius's fault.
I don't think.
Wait. Because Julius lost to Patry and went into this form, he is weakened, and that's why Spade is moving in right now, because they know that Julius is not who he was before, so they have a better chance of accomplishing their goals without having to deal with Julius. So maybe Yuno is like irrationally being like, if you wouldn't have lost to Patry, it
would be irrationally. That's exactly the word. It would be because Julius did do everything he could to save the people in his town in the Clover Kingdom. So like. You can't really be too mad at him.
How do you lose when you have time stop? Like, a dude is just as fast as light, and you have time stop.
You have the only thing that counters light speed is time stop. Reality manipulation. Those are like the only two things.
I feel like Julius was playing with him because he hasn't had a big fight in a while, and maybe that's like a warrior thing where it's like, I want to have fun, I want to enjoy myself. Wasn't expecting the entire Clover Kingdom attack that he had to sacrifice himself for. He probably could have ended it way sooner, but wanted to have a good time, and then it went boom. The whole fucking.
That's the kind of guy he seems like he is.
Julius is a Goku type.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not a fighting maniac. Nope. He's a magic maniac.
Yeah,
and he definitely. I think he's definitely a Goku type. So I think he definitely.
So Yuno's probably like, you could have ended this Patry dude right away. Never gave up all of your power and turned into a kid because you weren't expecting him to have a fucking huge AOE city sweeper. You know what I mean? Like,
if he could have ended him right away, I think he would have.
No, but he wants to have a good time with an enemy. That's what we're saying.
We've also gotten examples of him ending people right away.
Well, sure.
We have like the time stones.
Yeah. When he got the time,
those dudes instantly.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, you're right.
He was like, "What's up?" Right. Pow!
But maybe
he saw something in Patry that like would be like more interesting than those other people, more entertaining than those other people.
He knew he could wipe the floor with those guys. Like, who cares? I'll just wipe the floor with them. But this could be a good fight.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's see what he's got a little bit. Yeah.
But I guess I still feel like that's a very convoluted, complex series of motivations for Yuno to be angry. And to me, this chapter is more like, at least this part of the chapter was like, boom, here we are, captain's meeting. You see Yuno in the back. You have to show the whole squad. Yeah. Yuno in the back. Of course, you have to zoom in on Yuno because he's here as the acting captain.
Yuno in the back with no face. Yuno in the back with no face.
Yeah, and then you zoom on his face. He's super pissed, obviously, and then like this face of Julius, like. This face of Julius to me on the left panel,
poor
bottom left panel.
Poor
Yuno. It's like,
took the biggest hit.
Yeah. He's worried about Yuno.
Sure. Yeah.
That's how I take it.
Okay. I like that better.
Yeah. You've swayed me too. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. But before that, even a couple pages before that, I want to mention that so Noct dispels all the hands that are on Asta. And not only do his horns start to disappear, as he dispels that, the devil on the shoulder also disappears.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking... I feel like that's important too, like we will, I think, see that... Because the devil even says, like, this ain't my real form. Like, I'm a big guy. Yeah. But like, I just think that, this is just a small whatever. Because last chapter, I felt like... Is there some way that it's like a shadow sprite that's the same as Belle?
But like on the devil side of things.
But a devil too, like it's somehow combination of like a shadow sprite plus devil at the same time.
Yeah.
But the way that it's being disintegrated is, I'm pretty confident, is just devil, and that's just a part of it. But that's
this
pretty
thing's
cool.
Final form is going to look like Ifrit.
Speech bubbles have the devil illustration too, like they're
the devil is
the super wavy.
His devil, what's his devil's name? It's got a tight name, Gimodello. It's gonna look like when it's really like here in the building. I feel like it's gonna look just like it's gonna look just like
super
Ifrit.
tight,
like Ifrit from Final Fantasy VIII.
Sure.
Yeah.
So here, and I don't know what I was to say, I don't know what the Gi part means, but Modello means model. Like is he like the model best like the best devil, like I'm not saying the best devil overall, but the poster child for you know, you and your devil having, you know, synergy. You know, they got the best synergy. Like you, Noct, and Guy Modello have the best relationship of any human devil, and it's like a fair give and take. Where
to the point where you come out and get to talk on a shoulder, like you're like, you know, like crazy slot or some shit. Because nobody else gets to talk to their devil like that. Yeah.
What I'm wondering is like, so Spade Kingdom, Heart Kingdom, Clover Kingdom, Diamond Kingdom, they all have like special kinds of magic. You know what I mean? Like Spade Kingdom has all this body manipulation magic, and so on, right? I wonder, do they also all, as separate countries, have different ways of communing with devils, right? And so like maybe the Spade Kingdom lets the devil into themselves and lets them kind of like control their body on their behalf, you know what I mean? Or like give power in that way. But look at Noct. Noct like has literally a devil sitting on his shoulder. That seems very different than the Spade Kingdom guys, you know what I mean? And maybe Noct is going to teach Asta, let me teach you a way to work with your devil and not like sell yourself to your devil kind of thing. Or something like that, you know what I mean? Like there's many combinations.
It's endgame Naruto versus early game Naruto. Like you're working with Kurama versus Kurama, whatever, taking you over.
Right.
I like that. Love that.
Yep.
But I love this little baby. I love Guy Modello. He's like a sweetie cutie baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think, Eagle?
I was just gonna say I looked up Guy.
Yeah.
And
like
there's
clothing.
a meaning for it. Righteousness.
Ooh.
As what? Righteousness?
Righteousness. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
It's tight.
Yeah. I mean, Modello is Spanish. That's where I got that.
But then you also have like you have like but you have Lucifero too, though. Like.
Yeah.
Inside of Dante's devil is like Lucifero. I don't know if that's Spanish or not, but like
I mean it could be. It kind of feels like it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, like let's look at Bleach. I mean, all the Hollows had Spanish names, right?
Yeah.
It feels the same thing, like underworld-ish. You know, I don't know what the connection is there, but it does feel similar.
Yeah.
You know?
But M.A.N.G.A is not.
Yeah, and Zagdred is not like.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
Oh, Zagdred for sure is not. Like anytime
that's very
it's ending like
European sounding lore.
Yeah. Things that end in a consonant are definitely not like they don't seem, you know, Spanish to me. But like Megicula, you could make the case. I feel like if it ends in a vowel, it feels that way.
Megicula.
But like things that Megicula.
McGillicuddy.
Yeah. God. So Noct. Why do y'all think Noct hates Yami? Obviously, I don't think we're going to be able to answer this question, but it's interesting that he does hate Yami.
He like gave kind of like a description about it, didn't he? Like,
he just thinks he's a shitbag, or just
gave
doesn't
like some reasoning, like I think,
man.
Yeah, I think between last chapter and this chapter, we can like pretty much put together that like Noct is kind of like someone that maybe has like, I don't know, some kind of let's see what I'm trying to say here. He likes order, and he likes, you know, things that like he likes routine.
Yeah, by the book.
He's very like pro-establishment with everything that he does, even though he
decorum.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, like things like that. You know what I mean? So
I took it as he's just high IQ, you know, he's very enigmatic. Where Yami's very straightforward, very right to the point,
where
very
hard on his sleeve,
linear.
like,
linear, and that's the way I took him. Is like, okay. Yami's boring because he's not interesting. He's just, I'm a big fucking meathead and I'm gonna fucking surpass my limits every time. And that's like all Yami's dialogue the whole fucking time. We're like, Noct is very cool, very Sasuke-ish, you know, like you get the, you know, enigmatic, very shadowy figure with a lot going on up here. We're never gonna fully know what's going on in his fucking mind, you know, like which is always very interesting. Like anytime you get characters where you can't really tell what they're doing are the most interesting to me personally.
Yeah. I really hope we get to see Noct's face drawn in detail. He seems to have like a pretty boy butterface kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like he's very flat, one-dimensional face. And even when he has shading on his face, the shading is just like, oh, let's just draw like 5 lines, you know, to imply that there is some emotion there, but he's very emotionless. He's super, you know. But I want to see him. I hope we see him like really go crazy.
He's gonna turn up,
really intense face.
When you have characters that have like slits for eyes, and then like you know that they're gonna open them wide as shit at some point, and you're gonna get the full detail of their face whenever they do that.
Yeah, but when you
the
said
dialogue from Knocked last chapter, when he's like, "Oh, him? Why not just leave him?" And he's like, "What do you know about Captain Yami?" He says, "I'm very familiar with him. He's rough and violent and savage, irresponsible, unprincipled, unfaithful. He isn't a decent human being. If he lost, he's just an idiot." So I mean, apparently he thinks all this is true. He hates him.
He just doesn't like him, right?
Doesn't like him as a person.
Last chapter.
That was last chapter.
Last chapter. I was like, wait, whoa, that's a lot of words. I don't remember those.
Is your memory of Black Clover that bad? You don't remember that?
It is that bad, bro. Like, it's definitely that bad.
Literally
we covered like 20. Like, well, hey man, we covered 20. Like, I'm current in 20 or 30 manga. It's hard. To do.
Right.
We gotta go. And this one too. Like, when you mentioned emotionless, I really got a Byakuya type feeling now. Like, I went and go look at him again. Like, he's Order. And Order too.
He is Byakuya.
You know, Byakuya. Like emotion.
Well,
but he'd smile. Gin would smile, but you just didn't know what the fuck it was. It was very scary, very ominous smile.
But he had the closed eye aesthetic more so than
Byakuya. Yeah. You know, that, man, I loved Gin. Gin was my favorite in Bleach.
Hell yeah. All right, well, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean that's about all I had as well. So
the only other thing I like even really thought was worth mentioning is like at the end of the meeting of the captains, at least at the end of the chapter, Knocked, like you can see him like shadow teleports in. You know what I mean? Like he was there the whole time.
Well, what's also tight about that too is that he's standing in between. Oh yeah, that's it. That's what I was just gonna say. He's standing in between. He's standing in between Julius and the captains because Jack was walking in the opposite direction, trying to leave. And
behind Knocked, you can see the
chair and the desk
that Julius is sitting in. Yeah.
Well, and it's really good because they should be able to sense mana, which you can't sense Asta by mana. You could sense him by ki, but not mana. But you should have been able to sense Knocked, but he's coming in with the fucking Shikamaru out of the, it's more of a
shadow
Gecko Moria
or something.
Gecko Moria. He comes spatial. He's coming right out of the shadows.
Or maybe he's suppressing it, and like maybe like with a subterfuge.
There could be Zetsu,
espionage kind of character like that. You get like mana suppression as like a passive trait, just because like that's the kind of like skill set that you have, and he has been infiltrating Spade Kingdom the entire time. Plus the tensions are high between everyone there, like kind of like
they're not paying attention.
They're not paying as much attention. So it's probably very easy to be a fly on the wall in that situation.
That's something. I was just gonna say that's something that we didn't go into. I don't think I didn't hear anybody talk about is the fact that he has been undercover in Spade Kingdom.
Yeah. Oh right. Yeah.
Well, we knew that,
bro,
and it makes sense because he is a devil user, so he could probably slip in pretty easily. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we knew that when his character was first introduced without like actually knowing who he was, because like he was using these shadow step kind of like techniques where he was one place, then he was another place, then he you know, like you could tell that there was like it's easy to draw the line to espionage when a character is using moves like that. I
kind of want to go back to the chapter where he was introduced and we were speculating on who he could
who it was.
246.
And I think I wonder if we did say anything about how he might be undercover in the Spade Kingdom.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I might have to go
you want to go back to the episode where we talked about it?
Yeah.
We talked about that. We definitely said that.
Well, we talked about it, but I don't think
in the Spade Kingdom.
Yeah, I think we did say that.
That's big.
That's a big spot.
Yeah, for sure. We should. I would like to know.
I'm gonna go back and check. I'm gonna have to see.
Yeah, let me know.
All right, come with us that next week. Yeah.
I'm wondering. Do you think what if shadow magic has an attribute undetectable?
Woo! Yeah, like a passive. Yeah.
And that's why he's really well suited to being a sneaky motherfucker, you know?
Yeah.
And it would do with his personality. Emotionless.
Yeah.
Emotionless,
you can't
undetectable.
Read my face.
You can't read me. You can't read my magic.
Yeah.
Well, and that also like adds to the animosity between him and Yami, or at least
totally opposite.
One direction. And that they both share a similar attribute, like darkness / shadow is very, very similar. So like
so maybe he thinks maybe Knocked thinks that he's like the gross side of that affinity. You know what I mean? Where he's like the more pure like side that it's the
Tactful,
way the way dark magic
yeah.
is supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't just slash through a fucking dimension and say almost flex it out and flash it out. You know, like I'm gonna use this subterfuge here, and I'm gonna like do all my reconnaissance and all that shit, which is cool. But it does still sit weird with me. It's like, you don't have your vice captain for this long. I've only been to the fucking hideout one time because I hate Yami. It's like, man, okay. I mean, that means you hate everybody. You just on your own shit, and you ain't really
Zoro
for anybody other than you, right?
Yeah.
I thought Zoro was a member of the Black Bulls, and he was like, out doing his own thing for
Zoro?
the longest.
Yeah, we were talking about
when he came
was
back,
Zoro that guy in Space Kingdom. We were hypothesizing him. Definitely, and he's in the Black Bulls doing his own thing.
Yeah, he is. You're right, Eagle. Yeah,
when Zoro was introduced and he was like killing magic knights and shit, and he showed up to the test to get into the knights that were going to go attack the Eye of the Midnight Sun.
Yeah,
right.
When he got there, his name was like Zax or something.
Zax,
and then at the end of all that, at the end they were like, "Who the fuck are you?" And like Yami comes in and like throws his ass a cape.
Yeah,
and it turns out like, oh shit, he's been a member.
Right. So that could explain like Kiko's like kind of like skepticism of like why we haven't seen him yet, because Yami just goes around and says, "You're on my fucking team now. Here you go. Show up whenever you want, but like you're my team now." You know what I mean? Like, well, all right. You know what I mean? So like, I guess
it makes sense for the Black Bulls enough, but I'm just like, man, I feel like we're damn near 300 chapters in. Like it's hard to introduce this right now.
New characters that are this important. Yeah.
Hard to keep the illusion that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. But that's all I got.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I had.
Alrighty then. With that, I think we can move into the final chapter of this week, chapter 282 of Boku no Hero Academia. Footfall.
This might be chapter of the week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Jujutsu, it's hard to overpower Jujutsu for me. And like Chainsaw Man was psychologically damaging, but like, I don't know, man.
I agree.
I really liked Hero this week, even though, again, there was about a panel or two where I had to look at for like 5 minutes to figure out what's going on.
Yes.
But I expect that from action panels from Horikoshi, and that's fine. As long as the story is great, which this one was. There was so many hype moments in this shit.
This chapter was so high octane. Like it's just butt clenched for 20 pages. Like
it is. The
holy shit, like teeth gritting, like the Kermit meme, like you know what I mean? Like where he's fucking biting his nails, shaking and shit. Like that's literally how I felt reading this chapter, and it was so hype at the same time. It was frightening at the same time. There was so much uncertainty. There was so much badassery, that like Shigaraki looked scarier than he's ever looked in this chapter, bro. He looked like a zombie.
100% Wyoming smash in the mouth and the teeth. Where he like catches it in the mouth. You're like, my teeth hurt watching this.
Like, his teeth are breaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when he's coming after Aizawa, like that's when I was like, this is a horror manga now. Like, you know what I mean? Like he looks so like in page 9. The top panel of page 9. Look at that face, bro. Like I literally just got chills looking at that.
Oh yeah.
And then the bottom right panel of page 8, and then he puts his hand, bro. He puts his hand on Aizawa's face, and I was like, no. I was like, you're not. I was like, I'm totally cool. I guess with Aizawa dying, like it makes sense. People have been talking about it. They've been theorizing it. Not like this, bro. You are not about to crush this man's head like a grape in front of me, bro. Like I swear to God, I'm literally gonna have a heart attack and throw my phone out my fucking window. Like, but then Todoroki with the fucking ice blast, bro.
Yeah. And the Black Whip. Black Whip's pulling him back, and the Ice Whip freezes him at the same time. They like double tandem.
You can see the Black Whip grab around his ankle in the bottom right corner of page 8. You can see the Black Whip reach him. You know what I'm saying? And I was like,
Page 11, he takes back the Black Whip, pulls it in, and then with the other hand,
bro, right in the ribs.
On top of that, let's go back because on page 11, you see Black Whip, page 11, Black Whip is around the left arm because the left arm is broken.
Yeah,
from 100%
from the 100%. I didn't even notice that, bro.
And wait, what panel do you see it? Panel is a page 7, bottom left page 7, where he's starting to wrap it around his left arm to reinforce the broken left arm, flapping.
Oh my God, Horikoshi is in
so
the
sick.
bag, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, this was chapter of the week. This really was.
It has to be,
me.
bro.
And for me to say hero chapter of the week, especially with like a Jujutsu chapter this fire, because like Jujutsu or Chainsaw Man is always a chapter a week for me, unless One Piece snaps. Like those are just designated. But no, like the hero went crazy.
You can just feel the stakes so hard. Crazy. Like everyone is being written so well inside of how hard they're trying to diffuse the situation, inside of how destitute the situation has been. Then the tides shift in very realistic ways. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like, you know, like a Powerpuff Girls fight scene where it's like, you know, close up of the fucking main character punching towards the screen, and then close up of the villain, and then the villain recovers, and then they punch towards the screen, and then Bubbles is like, you know, it's not like that kind of like tide shifting. It's
This is the weirdest reference we've
but
ever
you know you know what I mean, though.
I would say
I mean?
Dragon Ball, because that happens in Dragon Ball. But okay, do Powerpuff Girls, that's fine too.
But you know what I mean, though. It's just like there's go ahead, Eagle.
He flips the fucking bullet at him at Aizawa, and it goes right through his calf.
Yeah,
it hits him in the calf.
It doesn't just hit him in the calf.
It goes right through him.
It breaks.
Well, the leg's already broken. The
leg is already broken.
That's why they're carrying him out. His leg's already broken. So when they hit him in the leg, you'll see Eagle panel of the top of page 6 is where he cuts it off before it can spread to his thigh.
He starts hacking his leg off on some Walking Dead type beat. He said, "Oh shit, yeah, you want to know what? Because Ryukyu said he's got a fucking quirk bullet. Now I knew what to expect. I feel this pain in my leg. That's the quirk bullet. Instantly,
he
boom,
did cut it off.
He did.
Cut it off.
He cut it straight off.
Gone.
Page 6,
He already had the knife out when he was shot, because he heard it's a eraser bullet, and he said, "Knife's coming out right now."
That's all I needed to hear.
That's all I needed to hear.
Cut off, clean. And what's so cold blooded is that I can handle this nice and rationally without hesitation by thinking of Eri, because he doesn't want to make Eri cry by losing his quirk again to her bullet. That's the thing. It's her bullet that would make him lose his quirk. And then when fucking Shigaraki is like, "You really are pretty cool, Eraserhead," because he only winces with one eye, keeps the other eye open. He's like, even you should flinch from cutting your own leg off, but only one of his eyes flinched. The other one's still keeping it on it, bro.
And
that shit is so cold-blooded,
these are
bro.
like things that like Shonen. Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Even more. On page 5.
It keeps going.
Page 5 though. Page 5. When he's thinking about Eri. He is playing cat's cradle with her.
Yes, he's the one. Exactly.
And so when there's this thanks for your warning, you know, on the bottom right of page 5, that's him looking at her. Memory. You know what I mean? Like, ooh.
And just how quick reactions are.
So much here.
How quick reactions are in like these high octane moments is really what like sells how intense the action is. You know what I mean? You don't have multiple panels dedicated to reaction. You literally just have like, boom, the thing happens, boom, the character reacts to it, 2 panels. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of shonen that take time to like, my leg, zoom in on the leg, go back to an internal like thought of like, oh my god, this quirk is erasing my quirk. Like, what am I going to do? Maybe zoom in, grab the knife. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally just boom, 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 boom. All of these things happening so quickly in succession. It really shows the speed of the action. It really shows how serious the moment is. You know what I mean? And I feel like Shonen, like historically, doesn't really like I mean, like you see this in Hunter x Hunter, the speed of action. You see this in Seinen. More like seinen action stories a lot more, because they really want to drive home those stakes and drive home how like intense the situation is inside of seinen storytelling,
and to maintain the energy, to maintain the energy, the chaotic
Jigo Karaku comes to mind to me too.
Jigo Karaku also when Gantetsu Sai like starts noticing that he's been stung by the fucking like wasp, you know what I'm saying? He says right away, boom, gone. Like you don't even like not even a second thought, you know what I'm saying? And that says so much when you are the kind of character that can assess that kind of situation and no fear, no hesitation, chop your own limb off. Those are
definitely
very few and far
you
between.
don't
I feel
get
like
more badass than cutting your own. And I remember too, like from Naruto too, Raikage cut his shit off when they had Amaterasu on it. Like anytime you just boom cut your shit off, like
without even a second thought.
Shit.
And it shows how fast your thought process is too.
You have to make that decision in that split decision, or you will be, like Amaterasu would have engulfed fucking the Raikage's body just the way that the quirk bullet would have engulfed Aizawa's body and canceled his quirk. He needs to make sure he keeps his quirk, especially since it's one of the best quirks in the show. Even though it's not like OP in the way of like destructive power, but you see how important it's going to be like throughout the story. Even right here, it's clearly like the driving force of everything. Like everybody's able to act because of Eraserhead's quirk on Shigaraki. They're all able to do their jobs because of Eraserhead. If Eraserhead ain't there, they're all getting washed.
Exactly. And look at how far Deku has come as a character, as a hero. I am still geeking that you called out that he fixed his arm with Black Whip with no exposition, no internal monologue. He goes Wyoming smash, arm breaks, and then there was no clear direction.
That
exactly. Like there was no. It's just like if you notice it, great. If not, like it's still an incredible scene, but like little subtle things that show Deku's growth that don't need to be spoon-fed to you. You know what I mean?
And
it's
this
like,
really
holy shit.
Opens the door to what Black Whip is really going to mean to Deku overall. Because are we going to get to a point where he totally destroys his whole body and he's controlling his whole body with Black Whip? Like, he's really like a shell of himself. And he's going to have to use... Yeah, exactly. To cover himself, bro. That would be crazy.
We are Deku.
And we already know we already know that Deku is virtually Spider-Man. Like Horikoshi loves fucking Marvel comics. He's got the fucking, Spider-Man kicks on from, like Miles fucking kicks on. He's doing the Black Whip now. He's Black Whipping.
Oh my God.
He is Spider-Man, right? Like Horikoshi loves Marvel comics. So like I really could foresee a Black Whip fucking shield
armor.
Cover full greed armor like Greed even from fucking Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal,
yeah
or just like Muay Thai ropes.
Yeah, that'd be fucking crazy, man.
Come on, bro.
There's a lot you can do with this.
Wait, because his arms
I'm thinking of Kung Fu Hustle, the dude who has the
rings.
The rings.
But no. This could totally be how he starts punching again, because his arms are damaged. That's like half the reason why he developed the shoot style. The other half was because he just didn't want to be All Might. But like his arms are fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like Recovery Girl says, stop using those fucking arms like that. You know what I'm saying? And then he thought about like maybe I should get some tech for my arms from Hatsume. And then All Might is like, this quirk is not good for tech because you are too strong.
Just blow it up.
But another quirk reinforcing the arms and protecting them while allowing more damage to get through. Wow, we could see Black Whip fist snatched like normally. Woo!
Yeah, that'd be crazy,
bro. Spider-Man does that too. He fucking puts the webbing around his fucking fist and starts beating your ass, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Impact webbing and shit, like all types of shit.
Impact web.
Right.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
So do
illustration.
you?
Go ahead. Get in
this
there.
illustration that Horikoshi has been using now for a long time for Shigaraki, where he's got this bright white fucking hair with no bordering. Like, man, that shit is just
I love it.
Beautiful. I love it, and I hope the anime keeps that.
Omnipotent, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, that is a great way to say it.
In a different way. Yeah, he's ascended.
13,
There it is. Yeah,
I love that. I really
into
hope that Bones understands they need to keep that as close as possible.
Good,
to it.
and then started fucking up, But they did a great job. They definitely could reel it in and make that really pop. Like it almost to me seems like it is white, but like I feel like it's almost like glowing white, right? Like
because there's no black outline.
Yeah, there's no black outline.
Exactly. That it's almost like an energy coming off his head. Even though it's hair, and it's going to be hair, I'm sure, for the anime, but they could really give it an energy feel. Kind of like Mob Psycho, his hair kind of goes in it.
It's like it's a flame or something, like a white flame.
Yeah. Definitely. And I want to talk about this panel a little more because, so actually a couple panels before where he's Shigaraki's grabbing Aizawa's face, and
I was literally yep.
He's getting hit with the ice, and then you see right after this, Aizawa's eyes are finally closing, and that's giving Shigaraki the time to use his healing quirk. He's regenerated.
Yep, and then he heals all the damage through. But hasn't he been healing?
See, but look, he's so scarred up. The healing fucking quirk is flawed, and I feel like all his shit is flawed. The 75% is really raining through. I really think he's healing, but he can only heal 75%, which would leave scar tissue. You know, I've healed the damage. I've healed the damage, but I actually haven't erased the damage, right? Like it's not 100% healing or whatever it needs to be, because so like when you were talking about that panel here on page 9 in the upper corner where it's so ominous and scary, a lot of that has to do is because his mouth got ripped, his jaw sockets got ripped open from from the Wyoming smash. So that like his mouth is crazy wild, and you can see the scars on the side of his face right here healing. Like, and
bro, when
like,
we get Minnesota smash, okay, I'm sorry, I had to say that.
I know.
I had to say it again.
Hey, we're all gonna get up and like punch our screens and
bro, I swear to God. But yeah,
Minneapolis,
continue.
Black Lives Matter, smash!
Oh my God, with Black Whip, Black Whip reinforcement on it. Oh my God, bro, stop.
So here's a different as you were saying, Aizawa has finally closed his eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that why Shigaraki's hair is now stark pure white? In the other parts of the chapter,
he's got outlines.
Yeah, he does have outlines.
Maybe his hair glows white like that when his regeneration is like at its max potential.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking like it could very much be artistic, artistic, and it does look really tight as hell. So like, artistic is totally fine.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting coincidence that like it was drawn with black outlines, closes eyes, then, not drawn with black outlines.
Yeah.
It could be energy all surging and
work and that happening.
Yeah, I agree, Eagle. Yeah, definitely.
So now
we only ever saw All For One bald, so who knows? Maybe his hair could have been the same way.
Right. So now here's a question. Here's a question in terms of All For One. We mentioned him
on Best Baldies.
Did you?
Yeah, he did.
Hilarious.
Nice.
Bit, Nice. So here's a question in terms of All For One. Okay, so Kiko's point that the half-baked, only 70%, only 75% is the progress he made when in the tube in the laboratory, okay?
Yeah.
We were wondering, does that mean the quirks are 70-75% as strong, or does it mean he has only 70-75% of the library that
I think it's
original
the
All For
former,
One?
what you're saying now.
Right. But here's and I agree actually that I think it is all of his quirks are weaker. But at the same time, like, still All For One, Sensei, Master, whatever you want to call him, you know what I mean? He couldn't heal himself back to normal. He was super scarred everywhere. Scarred on his face, scarred everywhere. Is all of All For One's quirks always weakened by virtue of his ability, right? Like I can take any ability, but it's weaker than normal.
Or the Dr. Eggman just gave him extra quirks that All For One didn't have that he acquired after he was apprehended.
And so those would be just weaker because they're not pure.
Because he's not 100%. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. It's just really interesting. Like. Yeah.
So as far as the art goes in this chapter, this was the first time we have been talking about on this show about how earlier in the series, Horikoshi's art was definitely a lot harder to read inside of action sequences. Yeah. And but we did have a conversation about how a lot of that had to do with the fact that we weren't reading official.
Gap of
well, we weren't reading official, so we were reading.
Too,
so we were reading scans, which are obviously lesser quality and blurrier and darker in areas that like they shouldn't be. So it's like partly
back in the manga stream days.
Back in the manga stream days, but it also was. Like, I feel like also Kohei's, just inability to let his action panels breathe in high AoE, you know, like cluttered with like high AoE, like energy, like based attacks, you know what I mean? And we've been talking about since then that he's been improving on those, which he has, but specifically in this chapter, I legitimately
2 or 3
could not understand what was happening on page 3. So the top of page 3.
Page 3 is
so he does the Wyoming smash. And then the first panel, top right of page 3, I was like, what the fuck is this? Bakugo is destroying the other quirk bullet he had in his hand. Yep.
It did take me a little bit to figure that out.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Like, it's just a cluster of Black Whip and Ryukyu and Deku and Shigaraki.
We're not seeing Ryukyu's hand because like it wants to show Deku and Shigaraki's body.
We're not seeing her hand.
So her hand is there, but we're not seeing it. But this is literally,
it's still just a cluster of Shigaraki and Deku in the Black Whip.
But I could read it perfectly now because like you could see the cargo pouch. Right. So you could, if you zoom in, you can see the cargo pouches.
I do see the cargo pouches.
That's Deku's hip. Then there's his by the boom. That's his like butt, and then like his legs are around Shigaraki like a piggyback, and like his arm.
I'm seeing it much better. I'm seeing it much better.
The darker black thing is his boot, his tech boot or whatever.
Anybody who wants to look at that panel for 5 minutes and figure that out, you're the GOAT. I used to do it all the time and get mad. I used to, because it's like I'm so. As much as like I love Chainsaw Man, right? Like I'm so visually stimulated. So like when I can't tell when something's happened visually, I just get so frustrated. And it's not fair to like discredit a story because we know Horikoshi's storytelling is top tier. But sometimes his paneling makes me so mad that I get.
But I appreciate this paneling here because like Horikoshi doesn't have to give huge glorious panels to everyone involved in combat. Like this is a very subtle, you know, Bakugo involvement here, and he plays a major role in a very small narrow panel, and you know 2 panels Bakugo is involved here.
It's very important though.
It's very quick. It goes back to the point that I was making earlier about how high octane the action is because of how quick all of the reactions are. It's just boom 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 boom, 7 things happen in 7 panels with 7 different characters. You know what I'm saying? Like that is really fucking cool, even if it is hard for us to read it. Like once you understand what's happening, you're like, holy shit, when this is animated, oh my god, bro.
Well, and to be
does good job with it.
Bones has traditionally, whatever, they have done a good job most of the way. You know, there has been a little bit of whatever, but they really have done a good job most of the way, and I trust that they'll know that this is like the bread and butter now of this series right now. Is this arc is the biggest arc by far that we've seen. This is bigger than All Might versus fucking, you know, All for One. So in that episode personally is one of the greatest episodes I thought of anime of all time is that fight. You know, I just really, they did it perfectly, and I think they'll know that, you know,
they'll know where they need to do the right thing.
And I won't say that they did Chisaki versus Deku bad. Like that was fun.
Shit was,
like,
that shit was raw,
good.
actually.
Yeah,
it's the Mirio
really
versus fucking Chisaki fight that was kind of a little bit lackluster.
There's a little bit in like the fucking Sun Eater versus the 3 fucker, you know, those guys.
That shit was definitely way more hype.
And even Endeavor versus the Hood, there was a couple of weird panels in that shit too. You know, weird.
I don't remember having an issue with anything in that fight, but I'd have to watch it again. I've only seen it
regardless,
once.
I would say still at the end of the day, the anime is still at least a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
You
know?
And Bones has done overall a great job. And I have full faith that once we get to this in the anime, I can't wait. I just absolutely cannot wait because all the questions on paneling that I've ever had at Hero, the anime has cleared up for me. And when I watch the anime, it's like, oh man, it's just like really brings this to life to me where I feel like something that Duke said in our chat a long time ago, the other chat, whatever, one of our old chats or whatever, Duke said this a long time ago that Horikoshi is so far ahead of the game that he's planning for anime more so, and he's not going to waste his time making a lot of
that was a really good point that he made. That like was a mind opening. I was like, damn. The anime
was going to take it there, fill in the shit that Horikoshi, you know, isn't going to spend the time on that he doesn't need to, and that really gave me a lot of hope. And it like when I'm watching the anime, I'm like, oh yeah, clearly, when Bones was doing such a good job at the time when he said that's like 3-4 years ago that he said that shit. But like that's like season 2 or 3. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. That seems to be what's happening when I watch this anime. It's perfect now, So
yes, absolutely.
So I want to bring up Aizawa again in terms of Shigaraki. Shigaraki puts his hand on his face, and everyone's like, "Oh shit! Like, is he gonna? Is
bro? I swear to God, I had a fucking heart attack, bro. Like
now, and
never
he like
been more worried.
On page 8, he's like digging into his skin,
Yeah.
And on page 12, bottom left panel, we now, as Kiko was saying, like now we see him closing his eyes. Is his eye, his right eye, so left side for us, is his right eye like gone, fucked up, or is it just like a surface wound?
No, I agree with you, and I thought the same thing, that it could be, but this could be the same thing that happened to Endeavor. Endeavor got his whole eye wiped off, but his eye's fine. It's just a scar.
It's like this finger is digging into his forehead above that.
And then it bled over it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it could that could be straight scratch all the way down to the bottom of the eye.
Yeah.
And bleeding.
Well, it would be tight,
bro, if he just had
it would. Yeah, and it would be tight if. I mean, it's kind of he already got his leg cut off, so like he's getting nerfed already. So
actually,
it's like, do we need to nerf his eyes too?
No, the damage does go all the way down because it starts up
you get your
right
leg
here.
cut off, you're nerfed.
Yeah,
tight ass prosthetic.
He's gonna get a cold-blooded prosthetic leg. Yeah,
sure.
It's gonna be like he never lost a leg, if not a better leg. Yeah. But so the damage starts up here, and we see it starting to damage him. Then the top panel, his hand is still moving downward. You see the motion lines on his hands. Yeah, so there's more damage. There's more damage there. Then if you look at the bottom panel, now his hand is still moving, and it's down all the way across his face. You know what I'm saying? So like it's down, it's below his face now. You know what I'm saying? So he completed the motion. He completed the movement that he wanted to.
That he could have fully cut off that, ripped into his eye.
And it makes you wonder, like, does he need both eyes open to activate the ability? Or just one?
I'm sure he doesn't because of the wince where he winced.
Yeah, but his eye wasn't entirely closed. But his other eye wasn't entirely closed. It was still, you could see cornea, pupil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can see all of that shit still open.
Now, I think the only thing that says he's fine is that literally the next page, Shigaraki says, "You protected him. Like, so what?
Yeah.
Delay it on you like. Yeah. You're still gonna get fucked someday."
Yeah.
Protected him meant I didn't fucking decay his ass and he's dead.
Yeah. Sure.
That doesn't mean his has his eye for sure.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Wow.
He didn't get decayed, which is to his own to his own ability, because he kept the one eye open on him as he's getting his face. He didn't
get disintegrated. He
didn't, because he kept the eye on him as he's getting his fucking face scratched in.
Right.
He's keeps the eye on him to not.
Because he was trying to activate destruction.
Decay.
You know what I mean? Decay. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
and then
let's have this last.
One more.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we got to say the last part was this planned the entire time for Gigantomachia to run through all these fucking cities to get to fucking Jakku? Like, was this a part of the plan? Like, is this a linear A to B is the shortest point? A straight line is the shortest point. Like,
the plan was for Shigaraki to sit in the tube the whole time until he was done, and then go meet everybody. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the plans had to change a couple different times.
How do you run through?
Yeah,
exactly. And how do you run through 15 cities or 20 cities? It seems like this is a perfect line to cause the most destruction across Japan possible, right? Like when you list that many fucking cities, you're just like, that has to be planned. This A to B point had to be part of the plan.
Because cities aren't. You're saying cities aren't in a line. Cities aren't in a perfect straight line.
No,
so
they never.
If you're hitting 20, you have to be moving a little off as the crow flies path. Like you're going off path a little bit.
Yeah, and I agree.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
As a little bit as to get around like monuments or whatever, but also not only that, like this was A to B being the perfect amount of like there's this much civilization in between Jakku and Mount whatever the fuck we're at. and that running this direction, even if it's not perfectly in a straight line, and it might, you know, veer off between like getting around mountains or hills.
Yeah, mountains and valleys,
you know,
and
valleys and that kind of shit.
You still shouldn't run into this many cities on the way there.
Yeah, that seems so.
So you're saying he's going boom, 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 boom,
and maybe not that drastic.
Yeah, but
that's more like boom, 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 boom. You know, like just a little bit at a time to get around like major, you know, obstacles, but yet still do as much damage as humanly possible on the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
so I think there's good evidence for that in the previous chapters. Where, you know, previously Gigante Machia said like, no, I'm going the most direct route. Direct route means I'm not gonna attack anyone. I'm just going straight there. And then he had the realization like direct route, well, quickest route means I do have to swat some gnats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so maybe he kind of switched into a mode of like, what's the way I'm going to get from point A to point B with the least people messing with me in particular? Yeah. If heroes have to save innocent bystanders, they're not messing with me. So I will create innocent bystanders that need to be saved.
I like that a lot. I didn't think of that, but yes, that makes a lot of fucking sense with what's happening right now. Definitely.
So I had almost 2 heart attacks reading this chapter. Obviously the Aizawa moment, but then after I read the chapter, if you guys saw in our Discord, Brack in our Discord,
I did not. What did Brack say?
Brack said the final spread was chilling. He said no sound effects, no dialogue, just normal people living their lives seconds before a walking calamity fucks them up. Then he sends, and I'm gonna send this into our group chat right now in our call so that you guys can see this. Because this is gonna have you guys like, holy shit. So there's this image of the double spread, and then there's this image of Inko.
No, what?
No. Zoom in on the first image. Zoom in on the first image.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
So you have the bicycle that is literally the exact same bicycle. You have the exact same like stores around of her on the exact same bicycle. Like like you can see the same like katakana on the walls and shit.
As tight of a spot that is, and I want to. Hey, you got to give that man a lot of credit. Like this is like. This is some shit that you really gotta love a series to go and find. But I still don't think that's down there.
For the record, this is not the same shop.
It's not the same shop?
No.
How do you know?
And of course no one.
It's not. No, it's
no one
not.
on YouTube can see this, but if you look at the page, I guess what the chapter is, page 17. There's the
characters are different colors.
Yeah, there's a store with a bike. And it's kind of like a corrugated metal up and down shop or whatever. Anyway, there's some symbols on there. The symbols are not the same symbols.
Not the same.
Or the same color.
Same even the
because
color,
like
the color scheme of the sign is different.
Yeah, and you have a combination
the one above. The one above.
The above.
Yeah, so like
mom is gray and the above on this one is white.
And on this double spread, like the sign above the store is like a combination of like hiragana and kanji. And then like on the Inko screenshot, it's like all katakana. So it's like it's not the same store.
He had me about to.
Oh my god, though.
Yeah. That's you got to give the man respect though for even.
Yeah, I was like, no,
that's serious. Like if that really happened and he caught that shit, he's the only guy on the planet that caught that shit. Like that would have been like monumental catch. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I think the city thing is a coincidence. I don't know that they planned it, because how would they have had any control over where the headquarters of the Meta Liberation Army is? Because that's where they had Gigante Machia chilling. You know,
but they knew where the headquarters was. They knew where the headquarters was, and they knew where the hospital is.
Well, and Eggman has so much influence in Japan that he could set up in any hospital he wanted. To have this much damage,
you would have to do a zigzaggy route.
That's what Kiko's saying.
Hitting the city, but he's just running in a straight line.
So much that you can see in a single panel.
Yeah, that you see in a single panel.
We've been seeing that the whole time. He's just been running in a straight line.
Yeah, but as we just talked about how he literally said like, I'm not done.
It was less so about the direction he's running, more so about he said, I'm just going to ignore everything that's happening But to get there quickly, as quick as possible, I'm actually going to have to swat some gnats. It wasn't anything about the direction he's running or what he's hitting. I think he's just running.
But that can be figuratively.
It can be figurative.
Yeah.
He can change. He can have grown in his general tactical thinking. Generally, that now he's not going to be one-dimensional. He's going to be multi-dimensional now. And I think it's still a fair point. You can't run in a straight line and hit 40 cities or 20 cities.
Yeah.
It's not possible. A straight line.
It is.
Trampling a city will have to force the heroes to act on the cities that have been trampled and to start saving people. That's the hero's job. So if he's going to trample through a bunch of cities,
the highest populated cities,
but he's not big in the world, big enough though,
and it's the size of California.
Yeah, he's like the size of a building.
There's
or
enough
like
cities packed into those little that little area where he could just run in a straight line and hit a bunch.
Yeah, but like not that many.
That's fair.
Not that many is what they're saying though.
No, I mean, Eagle could be right.
Yeah,
because he's right.
He's got a point.
There's like 80 million people in Japan, which is a very high population for how small of a density, of the land it is. Which is I mean, I think it's bigger than California,
but that doesn't definitively prove that like he will.
California.
Right, but that doesn't and you have a point there, and you're not talking nonsense, but like just the sheer number of cities. It just doesn't make sense in a straight line that you'll be able to hit all of them with the size of a body that he has.
The size
of his body matters too.
Why would he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I don't think not running in a straight line makes sense for like the mindset that he's in right now.
13, 14, 15,
no, I know.
15?
Shigaraki,
18, 19,
master.
20. I got 20.
Yeah, so I must have been out by 5. So 20.
Yeah,
so
with
20.
with 2 bubbles, it's 20. It's 20 cities he's running through. That's.
And I just feel like it's
serious shit.
That'd be quite a coincidence to coincidentally go through 20 cities in a straight line. In a straight line.
Yeah.
You think there'd be some, but then again, Japan is densely populated. Maybe they're in this area. They're just only cities, and you're hitting something.
Yeah.
And maybe you're running up the coast, which would make sense because then you would hit cities running up the coast. Whereas if you're running through the mainland in the middle, then that's far less likely. But cities are always on coastal areas.
We have to remember that
this
is fictional Japan. These cities aren't like all real. Like these cities are named after. No, these cities. There's a couple cities in here that are named after like other fictional like areas.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like they're.
Yeah, I definitely didn't look at that. But yeah, I assume they were all real cities because, for the most part, this has been pretty historically, or I don't know historically.
Well, we got Dagobah Beach, we got Tatooine Station. Like we have a couple different. Fictional settings in this story already.
There have been fictional settings for sure. And I think most of these most of these are probably fake cities or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just remember
regardless, this is quite the calamity. I find it interesting that M.A.N.G.A is running kind of blindfolded.
Mm-hmm. So maybe
he's got his chin thing over his eyes.
Yeah, we were talking about how like he's got like you know what I'm saying, like all types of like shit going on with like different.
He's got hand guards now too over his, if you can see.
Yeah.
Over his left hand, you can see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Looks pretty cool.
Wow. Never know. Plus, you can probably assume that the potion that they gave him, or like the substance or whatever that they'd got in his mouth, is probably affecting his behavior to some degree. Otherwise, like that's just a complete loss, which is like crazy that they would build up that teamwork and that hype and that like hope for like that big cumulative effort just for it to have no effect at all on him.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's pretty crazy to think about. It could go either way. I don't know what would be crazier, but like they tried way too hard for that to be zero effect on him.
So the next chapter he just falls out right before the city. Right
that could happen too. But if that's the case, then it's affecting him on a physical level on his way down, which would kind of like take away like Kiko's idea that this was a planned, coordinated.
And here's why I don't think so. Yeah. Because who's on Gigantomachi's back? Obviously the whole villain squad, but more importantly, Dabi. And when now that Shoto is now in the fight, Shoto doesn't get introduced in the fight, which I did call that Shoto was the third fucking star.
Sure.
I
said you did say that. Yeah, hell yeah.
That he was the third star.
Yeah.
And that him coming to the story right now, coming to the scene right now,
guarantees
really
the
makes
Dabi
me think
confrontation.
Dabi confrontation and something's going to happen to Endeavor. Like this, that just rounds it out to me, which now I don't think Gigantomachia is going to be slow. Like there has to be we have to get something as to why he overpowered getting the whole canister of sedative thrown in the mouth, right?
Yeah.
Like there has to be I feel like maybe this whole next chapter is about him breaking overcoming to get to Shigaraki. So now we got a little bit of a break before we get back to our current scene.
Yeah.
And it just it makes no sense to me for Shoto to show up so late, because Shoto arguably shows up late as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like Shoto should have been here 6 chapters ago, but he's not, and for a reason. Horikoshi obviously has this planned out, which is Dabi showing up now in a chapter or 2 or 3. And
the chapter is also like this is very fast.
It's gonna happen.
We don't know how much time has passed.
Yeah,
it's a lot going on very quickly.
Right. This is very Hunter-ish. 3 seconds have passed, right? I always accumulate it to 3 seconds have passed. You know, it's just
But this is a very good point though. That so the Shigaraki fight. It's a good reminder for me. I've kind of like missed this, I guess. The Shigaraki fight with Deku, Endeavor, Aizawa, all that is by the lab. And where Machia is coming from is the Paranormal Liberation Front mansion. Yeah. Going to the lab, right? Yeah. So he's running
Jaku
towards
City,
the lab, right? Jaku City. So okay. So that could be how Dabi gets to the situation and starts this new plot point or whatever. Yeah. I like that.
I feel like it has to happen. Like it's been so long. We can't keep playing around with this game. It's something so clearly like the truth of the matter. And if Horikoshi somehow made us believe that Dabi was Endeavor's son this whole time and he's not, and there's some crazy fucking explanation on how this all works, and we're all like, oh my god, it's gonna be like if that happens, there's gonna be genius at work to make that happen for us for us to think that. So like, and I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's so much more probable for obviously Dabi to be Endeavor's son and to be Shoto's brother and this thing to all happen. But I just, man, it needs to happen. It has to happen.
I feel you.
Like now we can't keep dragging it on, right? Like it's just it has to happen. This is the time. This is just the time, and it feels right. So let's do it. Let's get it over with.
Let's get it in.
I'm ready for it.
And Endeavor needs to get blown up, like a half an arm off, or like a half a big chunk out of him taken out, and he's maybe still able to be a hero, but not number 1 hero after this.
Yeah,
he's currently not at 100%.
I don't necessarily entirely agree with that, but I think it's very likely. I don't think that needs to happen, but I do think it's very likely.
Is a bad guy, and I don't like him.
Well, okay, and remember,
I'm rocking with Endeavor nowadays.
He is not at 100% output anymore. He can't put out the output that he has been, that he could, because he's been using it too much.
Rocking
so he's
with
weakened.
Endeavor is a bad look.
Sure. I'm not saying that I rock with Endeavor.
No, he's trying to better himself.
I'm not saying that I rock
he
with
was
Endeavor.
A shitty person once.
I agree with him.
He can become a good person again.
He's like my idol or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I appreciate his writing and his development and his progression.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully the fruits that we've sown, the seeds we've sown, or that Horikoshi rather has sown with Endeavor, hopefully they bear some tasty fruit. Otherwise, we're gonna be like, well, that was unsatisfying.
Yeah, his potential is more than
it remains to be seen. It
remains to be seen. I'm not saying he's the best character that I've ever seen.
It's going to be unsatisfying at the pace it's going now. He really needs a lot to redeem himself, to me personally. But
I'm not even saying that he's redeemed right now. I'm literally saying I appreciate his writing and the direction his character is being taken in, and I think that he has a lot of potential to redeem himself. I'm not saying he's there yet. I'm rocking with him. I'm rocking with him doesn't mean
he needs to give his body up to save Shoto and get half his shit blown off, and then he's good, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fine.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fine.
Shoto needs to be put in
his family like, yo, until I fix myself, like I'm bouncing. I'm not gonna live with y'all. I'm gonna work on me.
That was a great moment.
Dabi's not forgiving him. Natsuo is not forgiving him.
Yeah.
And the mom of the house now. What's her name? The oldest sister.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but she's on the fence, even though she's trying to forgive him to fix their family. Like she's almost like fix to bring the family.
The wheels are moving towards a certain direction that is very promising.
It is.
You know what I mean? So,
I mean,
And this is actually Endeavor.
Well,
might be a great one-shot topic.
Yeah, that is actually a really good idea.
Might be a heavy one,
we'll
but
look at that. Yeah,
but certainly the entire topic until it becomes like an actual plot point in a specific chapter. It's just too big to bring up in any one jump coverage, section of here or whatever.
Yeah, we need our own definitely whole own platform for that.
Like definitely. That. Love it. I'm good though.
Yep.
I am. That is all I have to say.
This is chapter of the week.
It was for sure.
Well, I think that'll about do it for this episode. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you did, be sure to slap a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that noti bell so you can stay up to date on when the content is coming out.
Yes.
Make sure you hit that comment section down below and let us know what you thought of this weekend jump. You know, chop it up, talk shit, ask questions, whatever.
Yes.
Also, like I said, be sure to visit that link tree in the description box down below where you can find links to any and all of our online communities, audio listening platforms to consume the podcast on, Spotify, Apple Music, stuff like that, as well as links to support the podcast if you would be so inclined, such as the link to our Patreon, where you can subscribe to different tiers that will obviously give you access to different levels of content that we release, ranging from not extra, but early access to all of our content, up to a completely different second Shonen podcast that we do with 5 different series on there. So go check that out and support if you'd be so inclined.
Yes.
And this will be another stupendous episode of the Project Manga podcast. Wrapping up, I'm your host, Igaru.
Peace, it's Kiko.
Noxie.
And Nickums.
Sarabada.